Welcome back to Selective Ignorance with your girl, Mandii B. This is the podcast where we proudly welcome the ignorance and also welcome you to educate yourself or not. Because listen, we all have ignorant moments, and before I piss y'all off, have you ever thought about what you would actually do if your flight had to make an emergency landing? Like, really thought about it? Because today, I am and we are reacting to a viral American Airlines emergency landing, and baby, the passengers, that's what they did. They pissed me off. And they had me thinking about fear, entitlement, survival, and why common sense is never that common. But also, y'all won't believe the questions I now want to ask every passenger on my flight. We're getting into it. And speaking of ignorance, my good sidekick, Ja, is bringing it right off the dome and fresh out the gate. No warm up, no warning. He has a selectively ignorant take as well. Well, maybe not so ignorant.
We'll see.
Then in This Is America, we're getting into the Golden Globes. And also a message and possibly a dissertation from Ja as well around Morris Brown and HBCUs. And then I will be giving a little lesson, believe it or not, on Jehovah's Witnesses practices. And this, of course, sparked by a very popular internet couples breakup, because the internet never really just breaks up. It digs deep, okay? And then a celebrity say the darndest things. Cam Newton invents new vocabulary, and Jim Jones finds himself battling with 50 Cent and the Electric Company. That alone deserves a prayer circle with lighted candles, because how else are we going to see anything, you know? And then we're closing it out with a gift and a thought and some love for my favorite person who came with an announcement this week, J. Cole, who announced the fall off. And I'm really excited to get into that. Now, we're getting into all of these things. So whether you're here to learn, laugh, judge, or just sit in your ignorance comfortably, welcome to Selective Ignorance. And why are y'all giggling, y'all?
I'm not doing this. It's not gonna end well.
I'm not doing this.
So Ja, real quick, when she came in the studio, right? I was just watching that.
Okay.
I hate it.
No, I was like, I hope she don't see what it is, because the cold. Well, anyway.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
There will be no Cole slander allowed on this show.
Never.
No,
J. Cole is that nigga.
I love Jermaine. But this is a funny ass pick. That's a funny ass thumb.
Part of what we do, we have to see everything from all angles, right?
All right.
To see what's happening.
Impartiality in journalism.
Yeah.
Jesus. Well, guys, unfortunately, I am joined by my super producers. We have OG podcast legend A King on the ones and twos, who is beautifully making sure y'all hear this audio. So again, if you're listening to this on audio, we are matching if y'all are watching video.
I almost wore mine too. I told him, I was
that
like,
would have
I'm
been crazy.
so glad
we are not
going to
come in here matching.
Yeah, I was like, please don't do that.
If y'all are listening to this on an audio platform, we have A King responsible for the lovely sound design and making sure y'all are able to hear it.
Stop telling people this.
No. Hey,
that's a backhanded compliment, because it's fucked up. It's fucked up audio. You know exactly who to get to.
Listen, I want to make sure y'all know, if you can't hear us all or the levels are off, sorry,
Insert,
that's A King.
Delete,
edit right here.
And then, of course, we are joined as well by journalism Jayson in Jersey. We got
journalism Jayson in Jersey.
It's always hard on that jersey. Makes me real Jasmine.
real heavy on the jersey. And then my new sidekick, y'all, my co-host, the king of headlines. We have Jason Ja Lee.
Except no substitutes. 8 piece up, 8 town down.
And welcome, guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna make sure, like, while we like to have a good time and make sure we get all of our thoughts and opinions out, I know y'all are trying to go watch some football today, so we're not gonna hold y'all here too long. And I know your ignorant take is about somewhat about football.
Somewhat about football.
Even though, guys, this is not a sports podcast.
This is not a sports podcast.
This is not a sports podcast.
But hold on. According to your stories, I'm not snitching because you put it up there. You were just at the basketball game.
You were.
So what?
You be go? No, I'm just saying.
I be at games.
You a sports head too,
I play games. I be at games. Okay.
You a sports head.
Okay, let me tell you.
Her handle is literally full court pumps.
It's all right. Don't alienate.
Okay, however, let me tell you. So I probably shouldn't have took a shroom before going to the game last night. So hear me out. So Saturday, y'all, I went to the Hawks Celtics game, and first off, my mind was going everywhere but the game. So I'm looking at the court. I fucking hated the jerseys. They like if I'm watching the Celtics play, I need green somewhere on their goddamn jersey.
Unis,
they put them niggas look like they was at a fucking AAU tournament. I hated it. So the jerseys were like gold and white.
Yep.
Hated them.
Yep.
And then you had the goddamn Hawks in a peach tree jersey that was black, no red, no yellow. So I hated that. Then I looked down on the field, and at one point I look up at, when they have all the names of the players, and I tapped my homegirl and I said, bitch, who is these niggas? I don't know. Now so the only person at one point between two lineups that I knew was fucking CJ McCollum. And I was like, he just got fucking traded there for fucking Trae Young. And I'm like, then I look on the court and I tapped Crystal, my homegirl next to me, and I said, bitch, this is 50-50 white and black. Like, look at all the crackers on the court. Like, I don't think I've ever seen so many white players on a court at one time. Like, normally you got the little Europeans. You got one or two out there. Bro, I looked out there was like 6 of them.
Yeah, white
10.
basketball is back.
Bro.
White basketball.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, damn, is the NBA turning into the Euro League?
A little bit.
And then I went up to look at the scoreboard.
Oh.
And it was like a 30-point lead. At one point, it was 100-61. And so I decided that I wanted stuffed chicken from Ruth Chris.
I was going to say.
And I left. Because also, on a shroom, I'm looking at everybody in there, and I'm like, what is the temperature outside? There was snow on the forecast, and whole coochie lips is out going up and down.
Oh, yeah, you
like,
know what's going to
the way the girls dressed.
They rebelling. They was like, it's not going to be cold.
Bro, I was like, this is why COVID started. Because bitches don't know how to dress at a basketball game. Like, I was like, am I old? Because I don't know nobody on the court, and I'm judging the girlies with their fallopian tubes hanging out their little skirts.
You're evolving.
I was like, wow. Like, mind you, you're walking to and from your seat with goddamn chicken tenders and beers in these little ass skirts. I was like, oh my God, y'all, I'm getting old.
They're trying to catch them one, man.
No, they was on
They want to get a little bit that hair smear on their dress.
Stop it. But no, I realized I need to watch more sports because I was like, I don't know anybody on the court.
100 points for you. You knew the trade. You didn't say
I
that.
did.
Was good. And she said it like straight up. Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
Naturally.
Like, I know what's going on in the news, like, of sports.
Right.
Like, I know them niggas. This is why I'm not betting, because I know them niggas like flopping and not really putting up points because they got their cousins betting on them, and
niggas getting Ricos.
like, you know what I mean.
All kind of shit.
So I know the news and what's happening.
Bible blackjack.
But yeah. Anyways, let's get into some ignorance. All right. So I have an ignorant take I want all of us to join in on, and then Ja has his ignorant take up out the gate. So this is how we started, y'all. And we're leaning into the reaction of what we're seeing on the internet. But one in particular, y'all, a video came across my feed and landed in the group chat. An American Airlines flight had to take an emergency landing. I think one of the engines caught on fire. Shit. You see the plane on fire in the video. And what the video showcases is the people coming down the emergency slide. Okay? And as I'm watching it, I'm like, okay. And then as always, I went from the video to the comment section. And I realized how many people were upset. They were calling for jail time.
They were pissed.
No, they were upset.
Pissed in there.
So the comments, y'all, and the outrage that I saw in the comments came from the amount of people who were going down the slide with carry-ons and their luggage that they had on the flight with them, right? And so, of course, we all know that when an airplane or when a flight attendant is giving you the spiel of what to do in case of an emergency. By the way, if you could find that on the internet, I would love for you to insert here what a stewardess normally says in case of an emergency.
You got to pull the string this way, that way.
Like,
up, down,
do
left,
we
right,
really
left,
pay
right.
attention to that? And this is wild ignorance for me to ask.
That's wild.
Because I know niggas don't be listening.
No, at all.
So this is where my ignorant thought came, right?
Okay.
And so, journalism, Jayson, while I sit here and spew a couple of my ignorant thoughts around this video and the outrage, I would like you to see if there is anything that a passenger can file to be reimbursed with the things they do leave on the flight. Because hear me out. So I'm in my thoughts, right? And I'm like, hold on now. You see what Trump is doing. I need to make sure I at least have what's on me. So I need my passport. I need my cell phone. I need that. Like, let me get all my cards, my ID. That got to go with me. But I'm thinking of the duffel bag that I put in the overhead.
Shit.
It's a Louis duffel, first off. Then I have my MacBook Pro. I normally carry my Shure mic. So I'm like, what?
Real
if I leave, you know, so if I leave everything in the bin.
My business is up there.
Is Delta, is the airline going to reimburse me for my loss? I don't know. Jayson, does it say that you get reimbursed?
So there's some interesting information.
Okay, breaking news.
I got another thought.
We're not gonna like it.
So if you purchase additional insurance, you're good.
Okay,
of course.
You got to bid the alliance.
But that's effort, right? So if you don't put
an
that
extra
$20,
So we're gambling again. We're gambling again.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Airlines
yeah.
generally do not reimburse
Generally.
loss or damage carry-on bags because passengers are responsible for them. But they may be compensated for loss or damage checked bags. But carry-ons, it's an extension of you.
Okay, so
I got a solution.
Okay, wait. So hear me out. So as I'm watching this and reading the outrage, my ignorant thought was, bitch, I'm grabbing my duffel bag.
Nigga, what?
Fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here.
I literally was like, I heard her say, leave all your belongings because you gotta go. But no, I'm finna grab it. Secondly, I looked at the gap between the niggas going down the slide. Niggas wasn't going fast enough for me. But hear me out. What I also realized that flight attendants do not ask. You know how they ask you, at least the people sitting in the emergency seat, are you willing to help and assist in case of an emergency? What I realized they don't ask, and this video made me realize I might have to stand up and ask the plane myself. Has anyone never been down a slide? Do you know how to slide?
Do you know how to slide
Do you know
properly?
how to slide? Because there's a woman in this video who goes head first, y'all, down the slide and eats the concrete.
Goes head first down an emergency slide. This ain't Whitewater.
Nigga, this is not Wet n Wild.
Yeah, Wet n Wild. This is not a water park, my guy.
I don't even know if Wet n Wild is still out, but this ain't Watermania.
No,
this ain't
none of that.
We aging ourselves now, but
this is not a Caribbean cruise. This isn't a boat. This ain't nothing that. You going to the tarmac.
You're literally about to eat the tarmac.
But there's a human element, right?
Okay,
it's pandemonium.
Here we go.
It's not like, okay, we doing anything in order. The only thing you're doing in order is trying to figure. You're gonna have thinking about those valuables.
I'm definitely thinking about those valuables.
I'm thinking about valuables,
and especially you get on there like, oh yeah, you put your laptop up. If you're sitting in the front, put your laptop up and you can take it down.
Right.
When we 30 feet in the air, 30,000 feet in the air, right?
Yeah.
So my solution is the personal bags. They like half the size of a carry-on.
Yeah, the ones that go under the seat.
Take that. Put all your all your valuable shit. Take that because at very least you could just grab it and go.
All right, you're making this boring now. No, we don't want to think about how responsible we're.
Back to the ignorance.
Okay. I'm just saying, my Louis duffel though is up in the overhead.
My whole thing about it is
Put
that
it in between your legs.
You
Pause.
could. Yo.
But yeah, I was.
So the plane is making an emergency landing, right? You know the plane is making an emergency landing from 30,000 feet, wherever, however high y'all are. Listen, if the plane is about to land,
you're right. We got time.
I got time.
We got time to actually grab that.
Shit.
You're right. While we going down,
it could be, but I'll be the first one up. Y'all gotta have to beat me to it.
I was about to say, actually, y'all back there with the smaller seats might, but I sit up with the bigger seats and less people to fight because I'm in at least first or comfort, and so where y'all.
She said the eight of us. The eight of us.
Yeah, the 8 of y'all back there who should have just took Frontier instead of even getting your ass on this Delta plane.
I didn't stop it.
But you got time. Like there was only one slide. So you can only go but so fast. So while I'm waiting in line to get down this, I'm grabbing my shit.
Yeah.
It don't take all day.
That's what I was thinking
but
too.
But no, I'm not leaving my shit up there. Y'all be mad if y'all want to.
Well, what left to know.
Adults on a slide is crazy though.
I mean, but
when was the last time you went down a slide?
I couldn't even tell you.
See what I'm saying?
30, 40 years probably since I was on a slide. But like, face first is crazy.
No, face first is
out of a plane.
That was a wild technique to go with.
I'm not gonna lie, we gotta insert that. Y'all gotta see this woman who it pissed me off so bad. I wanted her to not live.
Like you watched.
Like that's how. Like I was like this.
What
dumb.
Was she
I was
thinking
pissed.
Faster.
I think
safer,
she was.
Yeah. I can hold on to my stuff better.
No, because then she rolled. Then she rolled on the concrete. It was crazy. Now another thing that came across my feed in this last week that pissed me off. But also I wanted, Jayson, can you please pull up the clip? Y'all, there was a recent newscast that discussed not only the price of groceries, but a solution for our country.
This shit pissed me off so bad.
What the solution could be. Can you go ahead and play the clip? This is Brooke Rollins, Secretary of Agriculture, y'all.
I think the question you're asking, and it's a really important one, is while we're asking Americans to reconsider what they're eating, are we actually asking Americans, especially those who are living on the margins, are we asking them to spend more on their diet? And the answer to that is no. We've run over 1,000 simulations. It can cost around $3 a meal for a piece of chicken, a piece of broccoli, corn tortilla, and
a tortilla.
One other thing. And so there is a way
Have you ever
to
seen high
do
school
this that
football players in
actually will
Virginia and
save
Texas?
the average American consumer money.
You've done the
next
analysis
step, though,
on
is,
that
but what
because
about
that's
those?
one of the
We have.
one of the
We have.
criticisms I heard from some, nutrition folks who said, like with the event you mentioned, all the protein, saying, all right, well, steak obviously it's expensive. So are you asking people to spend more money with these new dietary guidelines than in the past? Do you say no?
That's right. And the answer to that is absolutely no. Now, there are, as most things are coming down, there are a few outliers. Beef has been one of them, but ground beef is coming down. But here's the real, I think.
But
I just, can I just say one thing that really pissed me off?
the whole thing.
The whole thing did. But in a country that is currently ran by a man who wants to put up a border, the fact that in their 1,000 simulations of what they could possibly come out and say, the fact that they leaned into saying a tortilla, which to me ain't really American. If you like, you could have said a piece of white bread.
But where you gonna get
But the tortilla, bruh,
right?
that is the Mexicans. The Mexicans be eating the tortillas. So I was like, y'all done sat here and told us to eat a piece of chicken, a piece of broccoli. By the way, a tortilla, and then they said a piece of one other item. And there's a ChatGPT picture floating around of one M&M.
A single M&M.
A single M&M. Now, when I saw this, it pissed me off. Because as we also know, in terms of households currently, you don't just have one person.
Right.
So this idea that this meal is only $3, say you have a family of 4, like that's going up, that's per meal. There's still 3 meals a day. I was just like, what was really being considered in telling the country at this point to ration their foods in this way? And when I saw this, I was like, how do I have empathy for the nigglets that voted for this goddamn orange Cheeto?
It gets harder and harder.
Like, it gets so hard. It gets harder and harder. We talked about Minnesota last week and what's happening over there. To see this come across my feed, and this is what they're telling us to eat in order to be able to afford groceries, because groceries have gotten to such the rate that we can't even afford it. Mind you, we also have rent that no one is addressing.
Right.
No one is addressing
Car
rent
notes
right
has gone
now.
up tremendously. Yeah.
What has?
Car notes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you're trying to buy a new car right now,
and that's
you're
the
going to
fear
get
too
fucked.
with car notes. They're seeing that people defaulting on their loans, at a high rate.
It's fucked up out here. And for her response or her recommendation for how to fix inflation or how to not be able to afford your meals is to spend try to buy $3 meals and eat one piece of everything. Like, come on.
But not only that, she said, yeah, steak, y'all can't afford that.
Yeah.
So get the red meat out your diet.
Right.
It ain't good for you anyway. It takes 30 days to digest.
Chicken
That's
and fish.
another thing. And then you cut SNAP benefits, right? You playing around with that.
Yep.
So those people in marginalized communities, what are they going to do?
I don't know.
No, it's a dirty game.
It's a real dirty game.
Very dirty game.
I saw this and I'm not sure if y'all saw it, but the fact that she had the nerve to get her white ass on national television and say this, because I think, was that on CNN, if I'm not mistaken?
It was News Nation.
News Nation.
I just...
when they panned away and they went back to the newsroom, I want to know what was going on.
On the other side of her, on the other
nigga with the cameras, like,
yo, get the fuck, you got a piece of chicken.
I don't know, I just made up tortilla.
A piece of broccoli is the wildest thing. That's the shit that pissed me off.
A piece
when
of
I was
broccoli.
like, a piece, like a one broccoli floret?
No, a piece of broccoli.
Like, that's supposed to be like, all right, man.
Yeah,
man.
pretty goddamn ridiculous. Ja, I would love to hear the ignorant take that you're bringing to the table this week.
So,
Ooh.
So
the sigh.
I'm trying to figure out how to start this the right way, right? So this week there was, I guess, a controversy over last weekend's NFL playoff game. After the Jacksonville Jaguars lost their playoff game, there was a reporter in the room named Lynn Jones. And, you know, she is a legitimate reporter. And she was offering kind words to the coach about how good their season was and for him to stay positive, keep his head up, and that kind of thing.
Did we want to play that clip?
Yeah, can you play that clip for us, Jayson, just so we can hear what she said?
And further context, he's a first-year coach, too.
He is a first-year coach.
Okay.
Correct. He just got to this job.
And he about to go to Orlando.
Man,
They about to take their ass. Look at me knowing sports.
Look at you.
Thank you. Hold your head up, all right? You guys have had a most magnificent season.
Thank
You did a great job out there today. So
Appreciate
you
it.
just hold your head up, okay?
Thank
And
you,
ladies
ma'am.
and gentlemen, Duval, you the one, all
Thank
right?
you,
You
ma'am.
keep it going. We got another season, okay?
I appreciate
Take
it.
care and much continued success to you and the
auntie.
entire team.
Thank you, ma'am.
Duval.
Now, as I watched that in real time, I'll be honest with you. The first thing I did think was, oh, damn, like that's a pretty heartwarming moment. Like she's trying to be nice to this man. Yeah, like she's trying to be nice. Yeah. Real auntie vibes, real warm grandmothery energy. Yeah, a little pocketbook full of caramel.
Man, baby.
Yeah,
good, baby.
Now she sound like Big Mama, your arm. That's crazy. Because she's not. She's actually quite a thin woman.
She is.
My bad.
No, she's a very small, diminutive lady. But so she's giving him, you know, props, making him feel better. And he seemed genuinely touched by her kind words. But in real time, my thoughts was, okay, that's dope. But like, whose fan club president got snuck into the presser? Because it did sound a little crazy to me. It was a little too, like, I get hometown sports. I listen to the local hometown sports here, sports talk radio. And like, of course, the hometown is going to be generous to the hometown team. But you still have to ask tough questions to your coaches, your players, whatever the case is. My problem is really less with what she said. My problem is the reaction to what she said. Because people who pointed out the fact that this is to some degree a little unprofessional. Now, this woman works for the Jacksonville Free Press. I understand that their journalistic angle is to be like overly kind.
It's a community.
It's a community of people, and so they are basically not a fan club. I don't want to reduce them to that, but they are very kind and generous to the home team. They want to feel like they want to say good things about the home team. They're not there to slander the home team. But when I look at the reaction to this, I see Matt Barnes going off on the reporters who kind of pushed back against how effusive she was with her praise. And one of those people was Jemele Hill. And in all honesty, like, Jemele is my homie. So, like, I did feel the type of way that people were talking like this about several reporters, but about her specifically because she's a real journalist. She doesn't need me to defend her, but I just felt a type of way about how people were talking about this thing.
How was Jemele? What was her response to this?
Jemele was kind of on the side of, like, yeah, like, that's kind of weird, essentially. That, like, why would a reporter, it's kind of, I think the tweet was she responded to was someone calling that interaction awesome. And she was like, I don't know if awesome is the word I would use to describe it.
I mean, we all describe things something differently. I'll say as someone who is credentialed media in the locker room. It's crazy. My very first time, I was credentialed media with the Orlando Magic back in the 2010 season. And I remember Coach Tibbs going in there. They played the Bulls. And Doc Rivers, I believe, was the coach at the time, if I'm not mistaken. And to me, it was always very interesting, at the amount of ways that people ask the same questions, just question differently.
Reword it, yeah.
But also, if we think about the presser, right? I couldn't fathom after losing or getting my ass whooped or, having to go and sit in this room where people pretty much like,
ask you hard-pointed questions.
It's not only hard
about your failures.
About your failures.
Literally.
Yeah.
And the idea that they have 81 games a season, and this is something that at least, you know what I mean? The mental toll on it, I don't understand why we can't welcome positive and negative interactions within a presser when we do have platforms that push positivity. There's an audience for that. And then you have the hard pressing questions that people want to ask, but also, are we getting those answers?
I mean, no, you're probably, most of the time you're going to get coach speak.
Sometimes
you're going to get fluff.
They're media trained.
Sure.
Or you might get lucky and get a motherfucker on the mic like Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
But
or a coach that's so fed up that they can't hold themselves back from saying the truth because they're that angry.
Who's been truth tellers, impressors?
I mean, coaches get
Outside
fined.
I'd say all the coaches you don't like. It's gonna be like the Bill Belichick,
Mike Tomlin.
Sean Payton.
Mike Tomlin sometimes will get on there and he'll just make it plain.
Mike Tomlin, who said peace.
Yeah.
After 19 years, by the way, I used to be a huge Steelers fan, so I'm sad to see him go.
All the games.
No, I gotta
Listen.
listen.
This is a sports
This is not a
podcast.
sports podcast.
Sometimes.
No, it was funny.
Change the podcast.
No. It was funny. They just posted a picture of him at, I guess, one of his daughter's game, and someone in the comments was like, "This looked like the first time Coach Tomlin had at least 8 hours of sleep in the last 19 years."
Oh yeah.
Because that man be looking tired.
Yeah.
But he also looks like if there were to ever be a Love and Basketball Part 2, he would have to play. He would have to play. Y'all know,
he be grown up Quincy.
Yeah.
That is grown up Quincy.
That's funny.
Have y'all never seen it?
Mike
Tomlin is grown up.
I didn't even think about it till you said it. That's why I was like, wait, what? Oh
No,
shit.
they look, bro.
They do.
They look alike.
Yeah, they do have a certain.
We got to.
resemblance
So
to
not
one another.
Lathan still got to play. So not Lathan.
Yeah, you still got. Yeah, but Mike Tomlin
Mike
playing grown
Tomlin
Quincy is funny as shit. I didn't even think about that till you
But
said
yeah,
it.
to me, when I saw it, I was like, I didn't understand the outrage why everyone's so mad. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with having some bit of positivity in these rooms that end up being fucking hard for everybody.
But here's the thing about it, though. If you're a journalist, it's not really your job to. You can do whatever you want to do, I guess, but it's not really your job to be positive. Like, it doesn't have to be negative and like mean spirited either. But like, it's your job to ask questions and to not like in any other circumstance where, let's say Josh Allen lost last night, lost a tough game, and Josh Allen has pressure on him because he's been getting his ass whooped by Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson for years now. Now both of them are in the playoffs. You still can't win the game. If somebody had gone in that press conference last night and started talking about Josh Allen, you're a great quarterback and you've done so much for the city of Buffalo, wouldn't nobody be like, oh, that's so sweet? They would be like, why is this reporter on Josh Allen's dick?
Maybe the reporter.
So wait, okay.
But hold on, but Mandy, let me fill you in before you, because I know you're about to go with half of the information. So again, the coach.
That's for saying journalist Jayson
He's a first year coach.
Journalism, Jayson from Jersey's a jerk. God damn.
Not that.
Whoa. Jesus.
No, because I know you're about to let it, like you're about to fire off on it. But
No.
He's a first year coach.
Yes.
They want 13-4. Last year they want 4-13.
Yes, they turned the whole season around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's not a traditional sports reporter. She works for this a community newspaper. It's a black newspaper.
Correct.
And when she responded after all this like fervor, she said like, when the team does good, the community does good. So like that's her position on it. And so obviously she's auntie vibes. He's a nice young man. He's probably younger than all of us, the coach.
Sure.
Right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's
and so that's kind of like the fuller context.
So something that you have all kind of pointed out, which I think is the elephant in the room.
What's that?
Is also that I think seeing the backlash and the outrage, you leaning into the auntie vibes of her, you saying if another reporter said this, they'd be like, get off your I also think the issue here is that it was a woman that did it.
It was a black woman.
It was a black woman that did it.
Yeah.
Like
I think reporters were annoyed, like as if she took up a lot of time. That was literally like 20 seconds.
Bro, that
it
wasn't
didn't take long. Yeah,
was
that's
it. Yeah,
there was
I think they were looking
was
at
what
it
she
like,
said, not how
we
long
could have
she
asked
said
the
it.
question at that time.
in that time. Yeah, no, some of the to be clear, like some of what the white reporters and even like Pat McAfee who responded to this whole thing, like some of what they were doing was like, not Pat, but like other reporters who were mad at it was to your point. Yeah, we could have asked something else, or this could have been a real question, whatever. Again, my beef really isn't with what she said, but people acting disingenuous to the idea that if a journalist goes in there and that's what journalists do. The truth of the matter is that if you work for a major publication, you might lose your job for that, or you might be you might get a reprimand for that, for being a little too fan-oriented with how you're presenting.
It's weird that you said that. I came across an interview this week, and I was like, that's journalism. There was a woman, oh my God, I can't remember the outlet, but basically she was interviewing Ben Affleck and Matt Damon on their new movie that's coming out.
The Rip.
And The Rip on Netflix. And she sits in front of him, and literally her question is, your name was brought up on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Do you know Lisa Barlow? And reference Real Housewives, and got an answer that, as who else is going to ask Ben Affleck this question? So from a fan perspective of maybe Housewives, she brought this question to journalism, and all I saw was, now this is journalism. I said, I love this is journalism. We have to understand in terms of journalism, Jayson, that the people that consume, again, you're going to have the people that want, the same way we have left wing, right wing, the same way we have people that want to listen to positivity and people that want to listen to mess. Like, we have to understand as a journalist, everything that you ask don't mean everybody want to listen to it anyway.
For sure.
So there are people, maybe old aunties or other women that watch basketball that have a heart, like to see that type of interaction happening in a presser.
That's cool, but I mean,
look,
again,
nigga said, women go kitchen now. That's what I'm getting. I honestly think it's that it was a woman, there was compassion, and there's no room for that on the field.
But it's like, but ask a question. Again, I don't want to make it about her because I'm not really tripping off of her. But she didn't really ask a question. She heaped praise on a person, and there was no. That's at least the Ben Affleck thing. At least she asked a question, and someone can see like, okay, that's cute. If you don't ask a question, this is just for me to like give you a verbal massage. Like, okay, that's gonna be a little weird, and that was my initial take on it. But I'm just surprised that people think that. I know that media is all mangled now, so people think that journalism and blogs and pods and everything is the same thing, and it's not really the same thing. So when they get on there and they start snapping about, oh, well, there's so much negativity and why can't we just have one? Well, this isn't the. If you want to get positivity, go listen to the fan podcast of the Jacksonville Jaguars or whatever the case is. But I was just shocked that so many journalists and other people were just completely not willing to acknowledge the fact that that's not how you can carry on. If somebody went in a White House press briefing, and we say this all the time.
I don't say, is that a good example?
No,
that's
it is.
What they do today.
No, it is. But that's my point, though. That's what they do. And the first thing that a left-wing outlet will say is, "Look at them over there sucking Trump's kneecaps. Look at them. Look at them up there licking the bottom of his taint." At these pressers,
the bottom of his
and not
is
asking
crazy.
real questions. And so, like, I don't understand why all of us, and I understand protect the black woman. Don't like people were talking crazy about this lady, Lynn Jones, and like she doesn't deserve to be talked crazy about, and she didn't do anything.
Y'all hear that sound? Shout out to A King.
That was the press secretary dropping.
Now his bottom fell off.
Yo,
the taint, the microphone taint.
At the conversation,
the microphone taint got sensitive. Like, ooh. But yeah, I was just kind of annoyed by the fact that people didn't want to acknowledge that that's not how you can carry on your job every day as a journalist. And there's plenty of examples of people reacting the exact opposite to that same line of questioning or lack thereof.
Valid.
So
valid.
That's all I got for y'all.
All right. Well, I like it. Let's get into This Is America. Really excited to get into this part of the show. We are now about a week out from Golden Globes, so we were able to see all of the outrage that played out over the last week for the winners, the losers, the emotion, and the host, Nikki Glaser, who I thought did an amazing, incredible job leaning into politics, making the room uncomfortable while also making the room laugh. Her jokes called out. I really like the joke about Leonardo because I too agree. Would love to have been able to, been considered for Leo, but I'm too old now. I'm 5 years past.
5.
You're right, probably 10.
I was gonna say 15.
Hey, yo. But yeah, shout out to Nikki Glaser. Shout out to the winners. And I wanted to know specifically y'all's thoughts on the Golden Globes before we break this down just a little bit.
Tiana Taylor Superstar.
Agreed.
Taylor Superstar. That's my front line take on the Golden Globes. Tiana Taylor Superstar.
Now, what I saw and what I like to dissect again is the outrage that comes from certain moments, right? Sure. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I saw a lot of people celebrating, yes, but on the other side, questioning this win for Tiana Taylor because of the length of time she spent in the movie. And they also went as far as to compare this to Halle Berry's win in Monster Ball.
The nature of
the role, and because it highlighted a negative, well, not only the sexualization of it, but a negative stereotype. And a negative stereotype once again on Black women. Mind you, I think that she beat out Ariana Grande and Wicked in the
Yes.
same category.
I believe
so.
that's
There was a
correct.
lot of people that were like, "How the fuck Ariana don't win this?" But
Not the darky.
you said what?
Yeah.
Nothing.
What?
I said not the darky.
It was just.
You know how they feel.
Listen, it was interesting to me to see the outrage specifically from our own community, because of course you had the intellects, I like to call
Sure.
them, that deep dove into this while also at the same time being upset at the actual awards that Sinners did win.
Mm-hmm.
So they complained about them not winning screenplay, right?
Right.
But then we're like, oh my God, they won an award that wasn't televised. Oh my God, they won an award for best score. They won this award,
Never happy.
but they didn't win. And I was just like, holy shit, this room is like 85% quiet.
Mm-hmm.
In a year where I think that we excelled as Black creatives in this space particularly, and seeing what everyone, I was like, damn, are we ever happy?
Nope.
And because it wasn't Variety who was going saying like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like, can
Right.
we, you know, Variety has had so much to say
They're
about.
gonna be on their bullshit anyway.
It was us, where I'm just like, God damn. And then when the BET Awards comes around in July, y'all are like, oh, this is the only place we see it. But BET Awards don't mean anything. Like, why
Right.
are we not being... And I'm like, we got seen in these rooms, and y'all are still not fucking happy.
Unsettled traumas.
And it's just
Culturally.
like... But the mental Olympics of them jumping hoops as to what makes them unhappy in this moment, in a moment that we could and should be celebrating.
Tiana Taylor. Yeah, I mean, my thing with it is that, like, I understand. So I watched One Battle After. I didn't see it I didn't see it in theater. I saw it maybe a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and I didn't leave. I tried to stay away from some of the criticism so I wouldn't be tainted. I saw that people felt like this is racist and all that kind of stuff, so that was already kind of on me. But I'm gonna watch it, try to be fair about it. And yeah, I understood in those first 20, 30 minutes, whatever it is, why that could be seen as problematic. But ultimately, to me, the movie wasn't just that good, the way people are super excited about this film. For me, I just left like, okay, it was cool, but I didn't feel blown away or feel any deep connection to it in the same way I felt with Sinners. At the same time, Sinners isn't going to win all these awards. We just know that.
And they did win, by the way. They won Best Score, and they also won the category for cinematic and box office achievement.
Now, I will say with that one, to me, that one is a little sus because that's a brand new category.
It's a brand new
that
category.
never
Okay,
even
so didn't
existed
know that.
before.
Didn't know that.
category never
It's a
existed.
strange.
It's a strange
category.
thing.
Because well,
'cause-
that one's solely just based on numbers then,
Well,
essentially, right?
So here's the definition. So it recognizes the year's most acclaimed, highest earning, and/or most viewed films that have garnered extensive global audience support and attained cinematic excellence.
Okay.
So to be eligible, you have to have grossed 150 million, with at least 100 million of that in the U.S. There's only been 3 winners of that film. So it's like Ryan Coogler's movie, I think Wicked, and I forget the first one.
Probably
award. So
Avatar.
it's a really
Seeing what
new
Avatar's doing.
award.
And my issue with that, even with their definition of it, is like, so if it's all of those things and it wins that, what are you saying that it isn't the best picture or what is what would be because to me all the best pictures would check all those boxes that he just read off.
Yeah, I mean, it feels
So-
like an assurance type of
But
thing.
that's the
You
thing,
know how
but-
awards movies are like the high art.
A
movies
certain
that
kind
nobody
of
sees.
film gets
Yeah,
those
and
type
this is
of
like,
awards,
we can award the popular movies.
Yeah,
And still remain like avant-garde with our taste.
If the MCU puts out some Avengers flick that everyone loves and makes $10 trillion that we can't really deny with all the star power, we don't give it any award, then this is our chance that we can give y'all this and make it like we're not biased or that we're being fair to everyone, whatever that means. But yeah,
Okay.
But the movie wasn't that great. But I'm happy that Tiana Taylor won this award because she did a really good job. Whether people feel a type of way about her character or not, I guess is up for them to figure out within themselves. But I think she did an amazing job with what she was asked to do. My question always is when people have these critiques of Black characters and ultimately it's hard to separate this Black character from this Black actress. What are you saying about the actress? Like, what is it when you have these hardcore critiques about Perfidia Beverly Hills and what she represented and being over-sexualized? Are you saying that if that character is this destructive, are you saying that Tiana Taylor aided and abetted the destruction of the Black community by playing his character? Like, what is I never know how they separate that.
me
And no
neither.
one ever really explains it.
Me
They
neither.
don't talk about that part of it. They just they levy the critique on the art. And I'm like, well, if you're saying that, then was she wrong to take this role? Should she have not done it and stood on some principle and boycotted? Would that have made people happy that Paul Thomas Anderson wanted her to play this role of like black sex hoe, and she turned it down because she has this principle? And she would have made it, like, I don't understand.
I don't understand
how
the
they
solution either.
Yeah,
I don't understand the solution. Yeah, well, congratulations to
Tiana Taylor.
Congratulations to Tiana Taylor. And it should have just been congratulations, and y'all niggas should have stopped with your Twitter fingers.
And just be happy for the lady.
Just be happy for the goddamn woman.
Never happy.
Now, in terms of being happy for women, I want to lean into my hypocrisy just a little bit.
Here we go.
Damn.
So it's not right for us not to talk about the podcast winner.
Yeah.
And so got on the phone. So by the way, Amy Poehler's A Good Hang, was the winner of this category. I want to talk about the other nominees that were also in this category. So you had The Armchair Expert, Call Her Daddy, Good Hang, Smart Less.
White.
Oh, all of these were white. The Mel Robbins Podcast and Up First from NPR.
White.
Now, yes, all of these are white. I want to lean into also saying where in my mind immediately, this is the first year that the Golden Globes is even acknowledging podcasts. My first thought would have been Joe Rogan. However, right? Joe Rogan to me would have been, he's been number one for the last fucking 8-9 years on the charts. But hear me out.
Mark Ruffalo would like to have a word.
So I had a few thoughts. My first thought was, okay, definitely thought Joe Rogan should have won this. However, if you guys are not familiar with how awards shows often work, me and A King, we be talking about it in the group chat. You oftentimes have to pay to be nominated.
Fee.
You have to submit by the way, your payment does not guarantee a nominee either. So like for the Webby Awards, I believe is $250 or $300
like
per submission. So per category.
Right.
And then Signal Awards is a little cheaper. Signal Awards is like $150, $175.
Okay.
And there's more different podcast awards coming out. I know even iHeart, you have to submit. Like what category? I don't think you have to pay.
No, I think,
you just have to be an iHeart podcast.
Right, but I think how they go about vetting, and pardon me if I'm not accurate in this, they send it out to partners and people.
And they have
it's a voting committee.
It's a voting committee.
Right,
yeah.
There is an order to
there's
things,
an order to
unlike
it.
some of the. But go ahead.
And so maybe, possibly, Joe Rogan did submit himself. Now, want to get into one more take on what the criteria was for this before I lean into my shit.
Yeah.
So for the Golden Globes, a podcast did need to be original content, at least 6 episodes released between January 1st and September 30th of 2025, each being 30 plus minutes, covering genres like narrative, news, and pop culture. And it had to be identified as the top 25 based on reach, finance, and visibility, from which the final nominees were selected, with judges, of course, considering quality, creativity, engagement, and impact, leading to these 6 finalists. Now, immediately, I got happy that a woman won it. Because women are highly underrepresented across podcasts in general. Right. I know we talk about the Caller Daddies, which I actually think, based on these nominees, should have been the winner. But they're not going to let a hoe win. Never. Not on the first one. And that's what her content, started from. Right. And so I actually would have liked Mel Robbins personally on this to win, based on also her show kind of aiding and abetting her becoming a New York Times bestseller. Right. That has not left the list since her book Let Them dropped. And so those are my thoughts.
And nobody in their community is complaining.
The white community of podcasts?
The white podcast community.
Now, here is my only critique on Amy Poehler winning this. Okay. Now, yes, she has great guests that sit with her. She's a celebrity, right? When I looked at her feed, this is a podcast that only has 45 episodes.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask about, even with the qualifications, when it says 6.
Only
I'm like,
6?
So 6 in 9 months?
In 9 months.
And you can win a Golden Globe?
Yeah,
unless it's a podcast like Serial or True Crime or something where it's scripted and it's different. I can see that
like
maybe.
The narrative.
But I was shocked that no True Crime made this. Because True Crime, believe it or not, y'all, is, I think, like the #1 category
by far
in podcasting.
By far.
So the fact that there is no scripted true crime show that made this also like led me to be like, who's really in this committee?
Who's in this committee?
Who's
and
in this
like
committee?
that, it makes
So,
that.
so the committee, it's the foreign Hollywood correspondence
The
tradition.
what? The who?
The foreign,
We got non-Americans voting in the Golden Globes.
So historically, that's the structure behind the Golden Globes, and it's not even a lot of people. It used to be like 100 or less. And so
Wait,
then
foreigners?
after
Oh,
yeah,
Trump,
and
okay,
then-
I'm
and
calling
then-
Trump
and then
now. Trump
after-
got to get up in here.
yeah.
Hey,
And
I
then
need
after
Trump
the
to
Golden
change
Globes
this shit.
controversy a few years ago, they expanded it, and so now there's
Okay.
some domestic reporters.
There's some
It's-
domestic.
It's still not a very large pool. Like this is not like the Oscar committee where it's like really large. It's still a relatively small group.
You said
compared to
100 people?
other- So it used to be 100, less than 100.
Less than 100. Okay.
Yeah,
But
and then
less than
remember,
100
remember the Golden
foreigners?
Globes? Yes,
Oh.
and then remember the Golden Globes was knocked off of TV a few years ago
Mhm.
because it was racist.
Yeah.
And so they reconfigured, and now it's a larger voting pool, but it's still
Okay.
largely entertainment reporters, some foreign, some domestic, not as big as like the Oscar voting committee.
Wow.
But look at
Mandii
the
voting
criteria, right? Identified in the top 25 based on reach, finance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what's-
that
What does finance
automatically
mean?
is.
It's like
Like
revenue.
the R. Yeah, I was gonna say
Right.
So if you have
the
40,
Yeah.
so she's
because it's entertainment reporters, and it's like how they look at
40.
movies and box office.
Mhm.
Right?
Okay,
So it's like
valid.
that element of it.
valid.
But there's also like there's some steroids in that because like and maybe y'all can speak to this better as far as like with the podcasting landscape. When you talk about finance, like of course Amy Poehler is gonna come out the gate as a celebrity with a high profile and have a high quality produced podcast and be able to get all of these amazing
course she
guests
is,
on
right.
here. So I guess
and advertisers
and advertisers,
sponsors.
yeah, and the whole thing. So I guess my question
Yeah.
would be like, could there, based off this criteria and kind of how white this thing is, could there be a Sinners podcast that even cracks this list at any time?
No.
Like, how are they gonna justify?
The only thing I can think of
you know
is
what?
before you get to the committee, there's advocacy. And I think the people who are advocating for her and other nominees, I think that's where the buck kind of stops there.
But does-
then
And
I
those
want
are
to.
the invisible, those are unseen hand. in
I
that
want to ask.
scenario.
I want to ask the group of us then, if there were to be a black podcast in this category, which one do you think would represent black podcasts the most? That would kind of usher us into continuously being nominated.
Outside of black, what's the criteria?
No, I mean the same thing.
Same thing?
The same thing. Which black podcast do you think would have been justified being nominated?
Drink Champs. Yeah, I know y'all are gonna say no, but it's Drink
They
Champs
don't
based
want
off of these
niggas. They
criteria.
don't want niggas like that in the Golden
So
Globes.
we're talking black. They have reach. They have reach. They have revenue.
They're gatekeeping too. There's a gatekeeping element in this too. They're not gonna have.
By the way,
that
love
conversation.
Drink Champs.
And
but
I'm not
I
hating
don't
on
even
them.
think
I'm just
they
saying,
focus on
I
audio.
don't think that they would acknowledge or recognize
Good Hang.
a show
Good Hang
like
doesn't
that.
focus on audio though.
The Good Hang has bad.
Good Hang is it's YouTube focused. Really.
Oh, so
like, the
their audio is
secondary.
it's not great.
The two.
I don't know, but great is I guess I don't know what your definition of great is, but,
Okay.
but they're very much it's a Spotify video.
It's a video podcast.
I would
okay.
Focuses on
So
YouTube.
it's-
So but you say Drink Champs. What if you say they wouldn't want niggas like that in the room?
I'm
what
just saying
black pod
because
would
it's
you
so
then?
hip hop centric. You know,
It is.
I think again it go back to advocacy. They have to have people there advocating for.
But if you
hip-hop
have, but
to
if you
be
have
in the
Amy
Golden
Poehler
Globes.
who sits with nothing but celebrities,
yeah,
Nori does sit with celebrities.
Yeah, for sure.
True.
The two that I would say to me that represent like the Golden Globes, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean as far as like status and them not wanting certain niggas in there. The first one I would probably say is, in my opinion, with Michelle Obama and her brother.
Okay, but how many?
Oh, I got one.
And they got how many episodes?
Right.
Yeah,
Or who's-
But
who's
at least
watching
do
that?
they even
well,
have at least
Who's-
six?
Yeah.
Yo.
Oh yeah,
They
Well,
have-
I love Michelle Obama. Don't
No,
give
we-
me.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just-
yeah.
But I'm like,
Of course.
we
We all-
talk
we all
about her
love
powder
her.
of course,
now.
yeah,
Powder
probably not.
now.
Does she
I-
even have 6 episodes?
I would think so. I mean, her pod has
she
been
has
going on
6
for
episodes, but
yeah.
I'm
Her
not
pod's
sure.
been with 2
She has
years.
6 episodes in the last 8 years, huh?
Her pod is only 2 years
the one
old, I
with the
think.
brother. Yeah, this the one with the brother.
Yeah,
They-
yeah,
they
the one with
do-
her brother. Yeah,
said
I
they
think
was
it's 2 years old. And maybe it's old just last year, but I thought they had been doing it for 2 years. I
Let's
feel
see.
like
Hold
they
on.
should
I'm
have.
about to let you know.
This is, in my opinion, with Michelle Obama and Craig Robinson.
And Craig Robinson, right?
Okay.
And they have-
Not gonna lie, it's
they
hard
got-
to tell. It say 47.
Yeah, I was gonna say they
So
should
then
have
they're
about a year's
within the
worth
range of what that is.
of what that
They're in
is.
the
So
range, yeah.
I would say that one first and foremost is probably the highest profile wise one that I would say. The one that I would
Okay.
say that I think maybe is not necessarily hip hop centric, but it also might
No, 74.
that also might crack what a Golden Globes type of thing would be higher learning, because they talk to.
I'm not gonna lie, higher learning was gonna be mine.
Yeah.
And it's on the Bill Simmons Ringer.
And it's on. That's what I'm saying. It's on the Ringer. They talk to a lot of politicians, high-profile politicians, and Van and Lindsay and Rachel do a really good job at kind of providing information and breaking shit down and still being cultural.
And they drop twice a week.
And they drop twice a week. So it's like, to me, that is the type of podcast without a celebrity element like Michelle Obama that I would say should be perfectly viable for some of the stuff they talk about in this list of criteria.
And I was gonna go that way too. I was gonna say either higher learning or Pod Save the People.
Pod Save the People,
with D-Ray McKesson.
Yep.
I mean, based on the criteria, the numbers, and just pop culture relevance, the read.
Okay.
And they
I'm
won,
not gonna lie,
won
the read.
iHeart Award. They've established themselves as award winners.
And they've been out 13 years now.
Yeah,
and their numbers are crazy.
crazy.
You know what?
Never
The
tail
read.
it off.
The
And
read.
They do 6 digits a week.
Oh no,
Right.
it's
For
crazy.
a decade plus.
It's crazy.
With no video.
With no video.
With no video.
With no video.
And barely any guests.
Yeah.
I remember they went a whole
No,
year.
the last guest that I heard on the read was Tina Knowles.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
And then before that, I think it was LeVar Burton.
and then before that, it was like Issa Rae.
Right.
Look at us.
Yeah,
knowing all that golden-
I can name all
Like,
the
we can, like,
There was an
name-
outlier when they had the DeVels when they was on there one time. You know,
Yeah,
before
no,
the
you're right.
pandemic.
You know what?
So it's like,
The read.
I still don't think it's any of those. Again, this is the Golden Globes, the celebrity focus.
That's what I was gonna say.
Every nominee is a celebrity, with the exception of the NPR show, and the NPR is a big organization. So it's like, as good as the read is, as good as Higher Learning is, they're not hosted by celebrities. I think there has to be some.
You don't think that the
that's-
Bachelorette is a celebrity? You don't think that Mr. TMZ?
Slavery was a choice.
And again, in the context of Golden Globes
And Golden-
nominees.
well, and
I'm
no,
saying
yeah,
and that's
yeah.
why I think,
Excellent
and that's why I think
podcast.
advocacy comes into play. Somebody or a group of people come in and say, "Hey, we need to look at this now because these are the other things moving and shaking in the culture."
Well, that was going to be
podcasting."
my question. If to Jason's point, if there used to be less than 100 reporters, and I'm guessing that they're not doing, like the Grammys, they do events all year long. So like, where would be the opportunity to do that advocacy if the people who are voting or the organizing body isn't setting up situations for people to come in there and like, yeah, you're having a drink, but
No,
you're going to glad hand
It's,
somebody and have a conversation.
it's going to South by Southwest. It's going to
Yeah.
Pod People. It's going to even all of the conferences and things where the people are in the room.
And you need to
Like,
have these conversations. You
yeah.
need to say, "Hey,
Advocacy and Golden Globes.
I know. That's
Y'all go ahead
You're
and-
asking for a lot now.
That's
Hey,
no, that's the other part of it.
If y'all are
What's
watching this video, Jason's over there like
Right.
6'7".
6'7".
More like
Like,
6'11".
you know, we were talking offline earlier in the week, and I'm saying it's like with the podcast industry, it's so fragmented, right?
Yeah.
There's sort of like the celebrity podcasting industry, which is like YouTube centric and video. There's like the Black podcasting industry. Then there's sort of like the indie public radio podcasting industry,
Right.
right?
Then
So
you
it's
got
like
the regular people that actually
the-
just
yeah,
formed
the
this
hobbyists,
following.
yeah.
hobbyists, yeah. So it's like where who's awarding what, you know what I mean? And so it's like what do you want from the Golden Globes in terms like to acknowledge different categories that aren't celebrity? Like what do you really want from them? You know what I mean?
So
it's like
is I don't know why I'm blanking on her name. What's the Call Me Daddy? Alex
Cooper.
Alex Cooper.
She's considered a celebrity now.
She is.
she's a celebrity,
full
and she's
celebrity.
interesting. She's moved through the cycle, right? Like she was
Right, okay.
huge.
and, like she was independent, then started through
Barstool.
spun out, then
Got
she
the
was Indeed,
Spotify deal.
Spotify
then,
bag.
Yeah.
Now she's Sirius XM. So, but now she's fully she's a celebrity.
Got her
now.
own network, the Unwell
Big
Network.
series.
So
She got a
essentially
Hulu
there's-
documentary.
So essentially, we shouldn't set ourselves up to even be too concerned about cracking this category anytime soon, because it sounds like niggas is just like the system is already set up for what
I
it's
think
set
the
up
system is
for.
set up.
Yeah.
And-
So I have a question for you, John. You're gonna start a podcast, right?
Yep.
What category is your podcast gonna be in?
I think it would end up. It's going to be a culture podcast.
So society and culture.
Society and
is
culture.
what's
Culture,
available.
right,
That's
right.
what's available, because it's gonna come to my point. So, society and culture, top shows, stuff you should know.
Yep.
The Ezra Klein podcast, the Sean Ryan podcast. I've
Fucking
had
Sean
it.
Ryan.
Criminal, This
Wow.
American Life, The Determined, Freakonomics, Sword and Scale, and the Telepathy tapes. That's the top 10, right?
Jesus.
And that's
so-
culture. That's
And that's
interesting.
culture, but
That's
whose culture
not
is
our
that? And
culture.
so,
Right.
and this is what
Not
I was
our
saying.
culture.
This is what I was saying to Mandii, right? Like podcasting categories are largely defined by Apple, right? And
Right.
if we're talking about
Okay.
advocacy, a king, right? It's like they're defining that. So it's like where does something like Deontay Kyle's podcast fit in, right? Like, because if you look at his,
Selective
I would
Ignorance.
say
We talked about
Yeah.
this. I don't
us,
know.
like I would say us.
Oh,
Like,
what is
but when I look at those other pods, I'm like, yo, we don't fit.
I hope so.
Here we go.
It sounds like what I don't want to happen.
I'm not gonna lie. I want an
But-
urban category. Give us
okay,
our urban
I
category.
wouldn't mind
I know R&B is
No,
they hating this shit.
No, I like
But we
the
might
urban.
need that.
I like the urban, and then you have the sub under the urban, right? But I just don't want it to be, and I'm not gonna throw no entities under the bus, but where we have the black version of something, and
right.
then 5 years in, it doesn't get the attention that it needs to continue, and then it just fall by the wayside, and we don't have anything anymore.
Again, the hypocrisy is the same thing. Going back to how the internet reacted to Tiana Taylor. Like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But we're in a place where we've had the BET Awards get shitted on our own community. Like, we have a place where, unfortunately, when we get to award our creatives, our community then is like, well, the white man don't acknowledge it, so it don't matter. And I think, to me, we have to start respecting and celebrating our own, just within our own community, and stop waiting for the white man to give us a bone.
So can I say something? Let me put it out there now, because if we're gonna do something like that, we might as well just say it.
What?
So should we have like the Black Effect Podcast Awards?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, baby.
Charlemagne,
100%.
Charlemagne, let's
the
get
Black
it.
Effect Podcast Awards, and unbiased,
For
for the culture.
the culture.
For the podcast community.
Hold on.
At large, too.
Hold on, I don't know if we're going to
We ain't
edit that out, but we
excluding
might need to just group chat that nigga.
I mean,
Like,
yeah,
we need to be on board.
That's why he got that bag.
We're going to
He
do
got that
this
bag
before
to
this
roll
comes out.
out.
We're going to clip
Yeah.
it, and you're going to be like, here.
Here, right
Hey, Charlotte,
here.
we talking to you. Now,
Yeah.
Bald nigga like Charlemagne.
now we're going to go from entertainment to education, and This Is America, and this is journalism on the scene. On the scene. Talk to us. What's happening with Morris Brown and
Yes.
the CAU here in Atlanta?
So, out of nowhere this week, Morris Brown fired their president. And I want to make sure I say his name. I think it's Kevin James.
Y'all, if y'all see the
Dr.
tabs
Kevin James, yeah.
open, making the
Big tabs.
journalism happening
big
over
tabs.
here, I love it.
Big tabs. So Morris Brown fired their president, Dr. Kevin James, today. It came out, not today, this week. It came out of nowhere. He didn't expect it. No one else expected it. He had just had his annual review. It was a good review. Morris Brown is one of Atlanta's historic, iconic HBCUs located near the AUC with Morehouse and Spelman and Clark. And they back in 2002, 2003, they lost accreditation because there was crazy financial mismanagement. Just they had gotten down to where they only had like 4 students enrolled at the college. Like the whole thing was a mess. The buildings were bad. Like they had a lot of work to do. They lost their accreditation. Dr. Kevin James came in and over the course of 20 years built the school back up, got their accreditation back. They were able to get federal funding again. The student enrollment had gotten up to like 550 or 540, something like that. So they were getting students back. They had money. Everything was kind of stable. He ran this thing, built it back up from the ashes for 2 years and then 20 years. And out of nowhere, it got fired by the board. So people who are Morris Brown alumni, students, people just in the community are shocked by this because it's like, damn, why did you fire this man? They still haven't presented a reason.
Oh, there's no reason.
There's no reason at all. They put out some statement basically saying, he did a great job. We wish you well. Peace. Don't let the doorknob hit you. And he's just like, I'm on the contract till 2029. They're breaching my contract to fire me. They didn't give me a reason. My review was good. Morris Brown is about to be back up for an accreditation review soon.
Yes.
And he's like, y'all look crazy firing me when y'all are trying to keep your accreditation.
Did they announce his replacement?
So a woman on the board is going to be the interim president in the meantime.
Okay.
But it's like y'all look unstable. The whole part of keeping your accreditation is looking like things are going right here, that there's no turmoil. And y'all have created this turmoil right at the point that you're supposed to basically get the bag again. So what the fuck is going on? So I watched people react to this. I watched a video of a Instagram user. She's a doctor. She used to work on the board of an HBCU that she didn't want to mention for messy reasons.
Right.
But she was basically breaking down how the boards at these schools are short-sighted and often lead to the downfall of school presidents. Many school presidents have gotten fired over the past 5, 6, 7 years, and it's starting to kind of make HBCUs look unstable. Right? And so there is this, I guess, there's this push to try to get these boards to get on board and fly right so that these schools can continue to grow and we can still have access to black education, because without the federal funding, if schools keep getting losing their accreditation without federal funding, most of these schools can't afford to operate.
Right.
And there's not going to be anybody in the communities to come save them. You're just going to see HBCUs go out of style.
And
And
we
so,
don't want that.
yeah, and so there's a concern
Not
that,
while they're removing critical race theory out of
How
school.
much is
Well,
the
you
administration
know what I mean?
trickle-down effect?
So this is the interesting part of it. So over the past couple of years, the and even some in his first term, the Trump administration gave HBCUs a lot of money. There was a program that they did that was based like a one-time gift grant of like $500 million that was supposed to get distributed across HBCUs. He did another program called the Future Act that was supposed to, I think, inject another $200 or $300 some million to HBCUs.
Right.
But he's doing that at the same time, to your point, while telling white schools, Harvard, Yale, threatening them with basically legal action if they don't get rid of DEI. So it feels like what is happening is Trump is saying, you niggas go to your nigger schools and stay out of these places of higher education. Stay out of Harvard, stay out of Yale. You're not coming here. But you can go to your Morehouse, you can go to your little Spelman, whatever you want to go over there. But
And we'll give you the money to do it.
We'll give you the money to do it. But don't come over here trying to mix up with our good white intellectual
Ivy League,
PWI, salt of the earth white kids who are going to change America. The other shady part of it is the money that was, like, this money didn't come out of nowhere. Some of this money was earmarked for other things, specifically what they call minority serving schools, which are mostly Hispanic institutions. So colleges and universities around the United States that specifically enroll and speak to Hispanics students. And they took their money and gave it to us.
Oh, wow.
So now it sets up another dynamic of, y'all got the bread, but now y'all can fight amongst each other about funding, how it gets used, because we took the Hispanic people bread, give it to the black people. Now y'all niggas can argue amongst each other.
Oh, wow.
And we'll shut down the DEI shit at Harvard. So
the real Minority Report.
So it goes deeper into a lot of things where there's a lot of questions that are being asked, and I don't have any information on this specifically, but for me it begs the question of, when you see these boards, who is on these boards, and are some of these people compromised by some of this money that's flowing in? Or are they saying, okay, well, we got this bread from Trump and them, and so even though, thank you, Dr. Kevin James, for being a great fundraiser and having resources and being able to talk people into giving us money, we don't need that no more. We got the bread from Orange Daddy. So preach, you go over there, and we can just run this ourselves. We don't need you no more. Who are those people on these boards who, again, may or may not be compromised? But I just think it begs the question, when you look at the larger picture of how some of this stuff is happening, you kind of have to follow the bread.
It's weird because we're talking about the money and funding that goes to the schools, and immediately what I think is where we're at currently as a country, where you have jobs telling you you're overqualified when you have certain degrees.
Mm-hmm.
You have a limited job market right now where there's really no jobs, and then you have Trump right now really affecting people's credit and everything in terms of paying back their student loans, while also saying that certain professional degrees are no longer professional degrees, nor do they qualify to take out certain federal loans because they're no longer professional degrees. And those specific professional degrees impacting, minority women specifically, like, again, when we talked about the healthcare scope, while also people coming out and saying that bachelor's degrees don't really mean nothing. You don't really need it to get a job anymore, because what they're trying to do is, too much of you niggas got degrees. So, like, there's an interesting thing happening right now with higher education in this country that, for me, as a millennial with 2 degrees now feels like, damn, I'm still sitting on this much student loans that has to be paid back, but also looking and realizing that I've been paying my student loans since 2018. Okay, I did take out them 2 years that they let us all be deferred.
Right.
But like
but still,
since 2018, I've been paying back. Haven't even touched the
I
principal.
was say most of that is interest that you pay
A
back.
lot of it is just interest, and so
100%.
it's this hamster wheel of constantly leaving the Americans in debt, while also impacting their credit, while also telling us all that this hard work that we did and doing this thing for 4 consecutive years and sometimes more means nothing in the grand scheme of things. And it's why, if you guys haven't listened yet, going back to the episode that we had with Domity early on, talking about what the American dream actually looks like, has us in this space of what is America right now? And again, in terms of higher education, how and why are we pushing it? What does support look like for HBCUs? What is the president right now doing with passing these bills that are heavily impacting what it looks like for us to have continued education?
And that's the thing. I brought up the Morris Brown thing just from the standpoint there's a larger conversation at play about what's going on. So in some of the research I was doing, I found that this is HBCU News who published this article. I think this was September last year.
Okay.
That 60% of HBCUs are at risk of losing their accreditation.
Jesus.
Part of the reason
60% is a lot.
I'm sorry, not accreditation. Their access to federal loans, funding,
yeah,
Pell Grants, and all that kind of stuff. The reason that there are that many of them in trouble is because in order to qualify for those grants, a certain number of your students have to be actively paying them back. So you hit a number where if your student body has not defaults on their loans, you can lose your federal funding because
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that.
I didn't know it until I started reading about it. So X amount of numbers. So,
and this is why people, you have to read.
And that's why you have to get this information because shout out to Kai Sanat. Y'all was dirty.
No,
we didn't get to that shit.
We ain't get to that shit.
I didn't like
y'all
that.
niggas ain't shit. Where's my camera? Right here. Y'all
look,
niggas ain't shit for how y'all treated that man. We'll talk about that. We'll get to that.
We gotta get to it eventually. The nigga gonna be reading on stream for a while now.
We'll
end up getting
we'll get there. Yeah.
We'll get there. Maybe next week. Add that to the docket for next week.
Yeah.
When we get in our new studio.
That'll be we'll christen that one with some.
We'll christen that with the streamers and casting out.
We're not gonna forget about y'all. We seen y'all. So there is a thing called the cohort default rate, which basically measures what that index number is for whether or not you're going to lose your accreditation or lose your access to these funds. So there's a 1-year trigger on this cohort default rate. If a school's most recent CDR, the cohort default rate, is 40% or higher, it could lose access to direct loan programs almost immediately. So that's if 40% of your student body that is taking out loans, if they default, you lose access to this. There's also a 3-year trigger that if your 3 most recent CDRs are 30% or higher, so if 30% of your student body defaults on their loans for 3 consecutive years, you lose access to Pell Grants and direct loans for those people. So to your point, if the economy is fucked up and niggas don't have no bread and they have to take out a loan so they can go to school and they can't afford to go to a PWI and a public or a private HBCU makes more sense for them.
The solution is a piece of chicken, a piece of broccoli, and a
tortilla, and one other item.
And one other item in order for you to be able to.
That's how you get nominated for a Golden Globe podcast award.
That's how you do it.
You see that?
You give them some fuck shit and some information, and you go straight to the top and get you a little gold statue.
Now, I want to thank you for being a journalist and bringing that in here. I didn't know a lot of things, but also
it's fucked up out here.
It's Ja's polite way of saying, "Bitch, all you got to do is read." It was out here. It was out here. You just got to read,
Talk
bitch.
to your husband.
You know what I mean? And speaking of talking to your husband, Kirstie Scott will not be talking to her husband anymore.
Damn, that was a crazy swerve.
Yo, you see that? Yeah, she's good.
Crazy swerve. Baby, I got a transition for you, okay?
That's a Potter right there, nigga.
Call me a trans.
Fuck?
Anyways, Kirstie Scott filed for divorce in the last week that had the internet going to a blaze. Now, y'all, Kirstie Scott and ex-husband now, Desmond Scott, met at the age of 14, married when she was 19 and he was 20. They are now divorcing after 12 years of marriage, and she filed. Here's a little bit of the details too. He came out. It came out and was made aware to us that he did ask to separate before she filed, and. The knowledge that I wanted to bring to this was because, first off, let me also share with y'all, I do not give a fuck. Hey, people divorce every day.
Niggas break up every day.
Niggas break up every day.
You tough, you be all right.
Like, I already told y'all, this idea that a marriage is supposed to last forever is a fallacy that y'all shouldn't be fucking believing in anyways. But here we are. Sorry, Jayson, who's married.
I'm quiet. I'm like, damn, I hope my wife
the road he traveled, though, is kind of unorthodox.
Yeah, that's a
barbecues.
You know.
Initiations.
Hey, yeah. You got to meet like Jayson did in order to have longevity in this game. Anyways, what I found interesting about this whole thing is not only Desmond Scott kind of asking for a separation prior to Kirstie filing for divorce, but also was the fact that they are both Jehovah's Witnesses.
Have you heard the good news?
Listen. And now, here's my ignorance again. I never really knew much about Jehovah's Witnesses. The only thing I grew up knowing is that they go door to door and they don't celebrate holidays.
Right.
That's all I knew
They go to church on Saturday.
About this community. You know what I mean?
You never accepted the Watchtower or the Wake
First off,
pamphlets?
I ain't want none of the pamphlets, okay?
You said not today?
Listen, my mama, listen, all I remember is when they came to the door, my mama was like, shut up, act like nobody's here, they'll go away. Like, we never even answered the door for them niggas. Like, we wasn't trying to be bothered.
They wasn't trying to hear that shit.
We wasn't trying to be bothered
So
either,
you was
right?
you was ghosting God. How you going to ghost God?
I don't know what God. I don't know what.
You
Which
trying
God
to be
do
quiet
they?
in the crib and you drop that spoon? Oh, man, they coming.
No, it was like, all right, turn down the TV, y'all. Turn down the TV. Hey. All right, so I wanted to get into some things that not only came apparent to me through TikTok, but also did a little deep dive. My husband helped, of course. And
Oh, man.
I was befuddled at what I found out about how Jehovah's Witnesses live their lives. Now, outside of going door to door, going to church on Saturdays, and not celebrating no types of
No holiday
holidays,
whatsoever.
None, not even your birthday, okay?
Sheesh.
It was interesting to read how they go about their interpersonal relationships,
I was
right?
waiting for it.
Okay.
So, they view that dating is for marriage, so nothing is casual or recreational. Dating should only also happen when both people are ready for marriage, which to me was interesting because this clearly didn't happen if they've been together since 14.
Right.
But interesting.
Okay, yeah.
Early on in dating, there is a thing called chaperone dating. So it's strongly encouraged, especially for the younger members, where the parents chaperone these two people while they go on dates.
Okay.
Now, in terms of sexual conduct, there is not to be any sex before marriage. It is strictly forbidden. This includes intercourse, oral sex, and any other sexual activity. Pornography.
So meat beating is not allowed.
And ain't. Neither is pornography.
How you gonna know?
Right.
Neither.
Right.
Listen, well, you're supposed to listen.
God knows.
God knows.
Yeah.
You
God
feel
knows
me?
your heart and your dick.
Now, here's the interesting thing about marriage specifically. It, like many other religions, is viewed as a lifelong commitment, and divorce is only considered acceptable if adultery occurs. Which clearly,
The fine print.
that nigga, no. Desmond said, I want out. She said, you ain't going nowhere. He said, let me go dive in some other pussy so I can get out. He read the terms and conditions of Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay? He said, wait, what is
He
my
said
out?
that
What's
user
the-
agreement popped up. He was like, no, don't let me read before I accept.
By the way,
So I thought when you take a vow, it says to death do us part. That means if you fuck around, it's okay.
well, you could fuck around, find out, we can get divorced now. Like adultery allows
Breach of contract.
breach of contract in marriage. By the way, remarriage is also only allowed if the previous marriage ended due to adultery or death. So,
Yeah, I
like,
found that was interesting.
yeah, is that not
Oh,
crazy?
so wait, so they're
So-
saying if we just break up because I don't like you no more.
And wait, what's the term that most people use? Irreconcilable.
irreconcilable
differences.
differences.
You can't.
You can't get married
no.
again.
Yeah.
No.
You can break up, but y'all can't. You done.
There's nobody else for you.
So
That's
you
your
would have to
personal
leave. You have to stop being Jehovah's Witness. You have to just
Or leave
exit.
You
Earth.
have to leave. Yeah.
By the way, what
Shit.
I'm interested as well, I'm not sure how many Saturdays they attended service, but when breaking up, specifically due to sexual activity or adultery, it may often lead to disfellowshipping and being removed from the church.
Damn.
They're typically shunned, and they end up having not only limited access to the church, but often can be a reason for no contact from family or friends that are in faith.
Shit.
Now, clearly y'all saw the video of that nigga sucking face with a whole nother woman.
Yeah, streets.
Like, baby.
That nigga said streets.
And then we saw her do the typical "let me chop my hair off" thing. To me,
yeah,
this
she
is
did
still
do a big
seeming,
chop.
bro. This
I
is
didn't think
seeming
about
very. I don't want to call it performative, but it's like we're in the metaverse of entertainment. Like everything that we think is supposed to happen in a movie is happening. Of course, we see him with the other lover, and she chops her hair off and says, "Well, I'm keeping the apartment, same address." Again, I didn't care, but I did find this as a really interesting moment to learn more about. You know, Jehovah's Witnesses.
So two interesting Jehovah Witnesses tidbits.
Yes.
They don't celebrate holidays, but the Jackson 5 still has the greatest holiday album ever.
Wait,
Jackson
what?
5 Christmas album.
Funny.
Yeah.
Yo.
That's funny.
Wait, were they Jehovah's Witnesses?
Hell yeah.
But what
yeah,
if
they
pra-
I did
just
not
got
know
the
that.
bag.
Absolutely.
So
It was just bag hunting.
do you have to be practicing even though you grew up in it? Do you have to
So
practice?
the second tidbit, you should ask your brother Charlemagne, because you know Charlemagne grew up with
Oh, he
Jehovah's
did. Yeah, he
Witness.
did say he grew up with Jehovah's Witness. Yep,
Yeah.
I remember
But then
saying
he
that.
converted to
What
the
is he
nation
now?
of gods on earth, right?
I
Yeah,
think so.
I
Yeah.
don't-
Wait,
know if
wait.
he's converted.
Charlemagne is a 5%er?
Well,
I don't know if
he
he's.
speaks.
I think
Well,
he's a reader. I think he's
He's a
I think he
reader.
reads a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
about
yeah.
stuff,
I don't know how any of that works. I don't know if you have to take like it's not like
he absorbs the
Islam.
principles.
It's not like
and-
you're
and
marrying
of
a
it.
Jewish person. And you have to
yeah,
convert.
or like it's not
Yeah.
like Islam where you have to take like a 5% of Shahada or I don't know what they do,
Okay,
but I don't think
okay.
it's like that type of thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But he talks about it on the radio a lot. He grew up that
Yeah,
way.
he does talk about it on the radio a lot.
Yeah.
Did y'all grow up in any religion here?
Just
Christianity.
yeah,
but,
regular
Same.
Christianity. like-
Regular
grew up in
Christianity?
it, you
And
know.
why do y'all?
But
By the way, hold on. I'm about to be petty.
Uh-oh.
We
All right,
decided
here
to
we go.
make
She-
we decided to make our day of recording on Sunday, the day of the Lord. So I want to know, why don't y'all go to church no
Heathens.
more? Outside of the Drewsy skit.
You want to do this first?
Well, so I'll be honest with you. With me, I never liked church.
Okay.
Even as a little kid, I didn't like church. I was now granted, like you're young. My thing was as a little kid, I didn't want to get up on Sunday. Leave me
Okay.
alone. I want to sleep.
This is one of the 2 days I could sleep in.
Yeah, I
okay.
sleep in, and then I'm going to like the churches that I went to weren't like mega churches how it is now. My version of church is like an old ass crumbling building in the hood.
Oh, like in the centers.
Yeah, pretty much, more or less, like an old ass building in the hood somewhere. Old black ladies with big hats and colorful dresses, and like preaching the pulpit, the choir robes. Like that's my version. That's what I know at church, and I was never really interested in any of that.
Okay.
Sometimes you hear some good singing, sometimes you hear a good message, but like I never really wanted to go to church. I believe in God wholeheartedly, but I was just never into church like that.
Yeah, I've shared this on my other podcast. So I actually used to be in a missionary. So
Really?
went to church
Wait,
camp.
It's a good
Hold on,
missionary.
hold on,
Missionary.
hold
I
on,
was
hold
gonna say
on.
missionary,
Hold on.
mission, yeah, like missionary, or like,
Not the sex position, guys.
I mean, you know the
So
comment though.
I
They're
was,
going.
I was in missions. I was in missions, and every Wednesday I would go to church, and I had a whole sash and used to get little like kind of like how the Boy Scouts are.
you get a patch.
You get a patch for every book of the Bible that you're able to go up in front of the class and recite.
Okay.
Like there would be certain, stories that I would have to go up there and recite verbatim. And
How old were you at this time?
This was middle school.
Okay,
So
so,
this is-
13, 12, 13.
Yep, 12, 13.
Okay.
Used to have wear a skirt below my knees, like a white collared shirt.
She said that
Went
shit
to
is
church camp.
disgust, like
Yeah, no.
below my knee. Yeah.
Gross. And so did that, and it probably high school was my first questioning of the church. I remember going to and we went to a church we went on Sundays, baby. And my pastor Pastor Clint Brown, I'm just gonna put it out there. He ended up going through a public divorce, and not only went through a public divorce, but at the time he drove a Hummer to the church. And so he
Ballin'?
this was when the Hummer was that
Clint
thing, right?
Brown.
And so
Clint Brown. Is this Judah Ministries?
no, it was
That's where he's at now.
called,
I'm
I think it
looking
was
up.
called
Oh, he done
He's
moved
still
on
at-
to.
he's-
it was
still
called, I
at
want
it.
to
He's
say it was
still
called
hustling?
Victory. He's still out here. White man that had soul, okay?
Wow.
White man with soul.
Oh,
Loved
Michael
it.
McDonald.
Listen,
Right,
loved him
okay,
to death.
right,
All
right.
right. Solid
And so started questioning church a little bit there, because I'm like, okay, so they can get divorced and they're using these tithes and offerings to line their pockets, okay. And then when I got to college, this wasn't until I was 24 years old because I'm non-traditional student. My first year, I took African American studies.
Right.
And boy, learning how much the Bible was quoted from masters and just our country as a whole amidst slavery and amidst
the propaganda of it all.
The propaganda of it all was like, wait, y'all were slave owners and were Christians? Y'all were...
Well, they also used to say there's parts of the Bible that justify slavery because of what they identify was our lineage.
But that's my thing, to know even that the Bible can have all these different interpretations.
Well, they did
and they interpreted it in a nasty way.
Yeah, in the worst way possible.
Like, in the worst way possible. So I was just like, But yeah, I was like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I will say, maybe this year I would like to have a couple episodes. I want to have some deeply spiritually rooted religious like diehards here to really figure out like their minds.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Like I would like to do that.
I didn't like church, but I like Sunday school.
And okay.
Sunday school was how was my introduction to hip hop.
Really?
Because it was a kid. He was older, and he snuck me a CD at the time. The album was already out, but he was like, "Yo, listen to this." And it was Ice Cube's Death Certificate. That was the first album I ever heard.
That is a crazy place to learn about.
Wait, I'm thinking about a CD or a tape or a vinyl. Like, was it really a CD?
It was a CD.
She's trying to age check. She's trying to age check.
What is that? No. How old?
72 years old.
CD.
You had a CD?
He gave me a CD.
CD, okay.
But I had to hold that till I was able to. We didn't have.
Where were you going to play?
And also, my brothers and sister was already out the house.
Right.
So I'm all the rules apply.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were able to break the. So then I had to figure it out. So now I figured out. Let's finally.
Where'd you figure out? Where was the first place you put that CD?
I bought a CD player.
Okay.
Allowance and shit. And
yeah.
A very bare bones joint. And after that changed my entire perspective about all the shit my parents shielded me from. I heard it. I was like, oh shit.
This is what's
if you ever listen to Death Certificate, it's a very societal driven, anti everything.
It's a scary way to learn about the world.
But it's so truth though. It's a very truth-telling CD from Ice Cube, and that was my opening portal to hip hop. And I was like, wow. So I credit Sunday school for that.
Wow.
But like going in the pulpit, you got to wear the suits, and then
I didn't want to get dressed.
And every 5 seconds, stand up,
right?
Sit down, stand up.
That shit used to drive me
you start
crazy.
nodding off, and then mom's was like,
"Oh yeah, mom,
get your ass up,
wake up."
And then you're like, "Damn, it's only 11. We gotta wait till 1:00, 1:30,
right.
And then you gotta talk to the people. Then you're gonna go eat something, and then it's like a whole day.
It was a whole day.
And then school starts again
the next day.
Right.
And did.
Yep.
Well, let's get into the mess, if y'all don't mind. This is where we could just laugh at these niggas. This is all I want to do. We're not laughing with y'all. We are laughing at you.
We are mocking you.
Let's get into celebrities say the darndest things. Over the last week, we have all been laughing at Cam Newton, who sat across from Lady London in his podcast, Funky Friday. Now, you know what? We have other men here. I want to know, as a collective, were y'all not embarrassed? Were y'all embarrassed? It's like, was there any secondhand embarrassment to watching one of your brethren?
No, now it's community.
Right now he's part of y'all.
Yeah, he's y'all. I actually want to remove him from the Urban Podcast slate, actually. I don't want to be associated.
No Golden Globe for you.
No, none.
Oh, yeah.
What were y'all's thoughts in the viral clips? By the way, there's two here. We have him inventing a word, and we have him talking about his astrology sign. Do we want to play both? How do we want to react to this? How do we want to take this topic head on? Because I want to laugh at this point, y'all. We've been kind of serious talking about all the other topics.
Well, the shit the thing with Cam that gave me the secondhand embarrassment was that he couldn't just fucking take what Lady London was telling him and just take the fact that you was wrong and let her give you some correction and just let it do it. It was super easy. It was a layup. She wasn't even really coming at you. She was like sparing you. And
with a smile on her face. With a smile.
Yeah, like you couldn't just take that. You had no, that's a word I made up. Like defensiveness and doubling down on the end. Yeah, like I mean,
but I think what he likes to do is sit across from bird brain bitches that he feels like he can have gotcha moments on, right? Mm-hmm. I think he genuinely believes he's one of the smartest people in the room and one of the smartest people in any conversation he has, and wants to kind of still be the leader. He sees himself clearly. He mentions himself
It's
as
that
a
QB1
god,
shit.
but but it was really interesting too because kind of going to what your topic was in This Is America, he really tried to stump her in bringing up how much too she would probably prefer to go to a PWI over an HBCU, and I found him really drilling her in that notion to be really nasty,
Right.
Because it's just like, what are you doing right
what's
now?
wrong with you, bro?
Now I do want to play the clip as if y'all probably haven't heard it already, but if you're sitting at your desk, if you're riding in your car, I too want you to laugh with us. Can we play the clip of him inventing the word Nclecta? Nclecta.
Describe your style in one word. That's an adjective.
Can I use a word that I've already used?
Sure. Word.
Nclecta.
Say it again.
Say it again.
He said it strong too.
Well, the heavy on the end.
Heavy.
There's no N in it.
No. It's my word.
Oh, let's unpack it.
You know, she is the
Your
GOAT.
word.
Nclecta.
Spell it for me.
She said you got me fucked
Nclecta.
up.
Okay.
Bro.
Eclectic.
Eclectic.
Do you want to know what the N stand for?
Go
Niggatry.
ahead, nigga.
Off
Easy.
top.
Am I right?
And he gonna shake to that.
Okay. Respectfully.
Are you not embarrassed? Okay, we can stop it there.
But you know what?
Look at his face. His face.
but I'm gonna keep it 1,000.
The freeze
keep it
frame.
1,000.
The freeze frame.
Go
is
ahead,
great.
AK.
It worked.
No, it didn't.
It did. 'Cause
It did not
that's
work.
all
What did
you
it work
see
for?
Eclectic. The people who got it out, they're gonna have merch on it now. I mean, it worked.
But
we're
here-
talking about it. Everyone's talking about it.
But here's the problem, though. In the same week that he makes up this dumbass word because he's too defensive and too afraid to let a woman
To
correct
say my
him,
bad.
to say my
Right.
bad, is the same week that y'all fuck ass niggas slaughtered Kai Cenat
Ooh.
for trying to look up words and trying to know how to pronounce them correctly and what they mean. In the same week, niggas showed themselves, and I'm just like, I can't, like, y'all are killing me. Please, y'all are killing me.
We are
You
the
gotta stop this shit.
problem.
Y'all gotta stop this
We
shit.
are the
We are the problem.
You gotta-
problem.
We
you
are
niggas-
the problem.
You niggas have to stop this shit.
They not gonna stop. They not gonna
stop. There's
You
no
damned if you do,
stopping.
damned if you don't.
There's no stopping.
Literally.
Do you know how many? We went to school with some of these people, right? Like all of the degenerates. We got to
Not the
identify who are the
degenerates.
degenerates in elementary and high school. These are the people that's causing a ruckus right now. But it's like, y'all got
You
it,
know
man.
what? To
Y'all
be
got
fair,
it.
it's why I say it all the time in terms of
Y'all got
people who can put violin strings behind their videos and form complete sentences. It's why America gawks at them like they're saying something valid or
Revolutionary.
revolutionary.
Yeah,
Just because
yes.
there's such a lack in people understanding words. Now, y'all know, again, I'm probably a hypocrite because y'all know I will make up a word like anybody else up through here.
Sure.
But eclectic, in terms of even how we go about spelling things.
That nigga said NC.
If ever anything in the English dictionary starts with the pronunciation of N, it's either IN or EN. And the fact that nigga went straight to N,
Spelled it and then said it.
And
As he
said it.
spelled
You
it,
know,
which is
you want to know
crazy.
what word I made up last week, but it was 5 minutes ago?
Right.
Nclecta.
Nclecta.
And
Nigga,
the funniest part was he was spelling it like he was using his finger to read a real word, like going underneath the N, C.
Wait. Can I also? No one is
L.
talking about either the fact that he literally said eclectic, and somehow
And then
when he
said-
went to spelling it, it ended with an
The
A.
A, yeah,
Fuck
yeah,
the
yeah,
IC.
yeah,
Fuck
yeah,
the
yeah,
ICK. Like he said it with an
That nigga
ick,
crazy.
and it
Yeah.
didn't even end with an ick in his spelling.
Oh,
He gave me the ick. That's what this shit did. It gave me the ick, and I was like, so the conversation that I ended up having with my friends here, because it was so hard as a woman to admit this. And when I got in the group chat and I asked all my friends, I said, the embarrassing part about this is that's a high value man, Savannah.
Yo.
With that, that's what niggas would call,
and
100%.
so to see him talk, to see him not even know how to actually formulate a spelling of a word, but nor even have an engaging enough conversation where we weren't all embarrassed for him, I was like, damn. But because of his looks, his wealth, his power, his
And
status,
them touchdowns.
there was
And all them
in every which way, the fact that this is still considered the high value man, I'm like, yuck.
I don't get that shit.
Yuck.
I don't get that shit. The funny part about it is the whole way that shit played out is that like she looked like a woman on a bad first date who was like, I'm never calling this nigga again.
No.
Like, I'm gonna have fun while I'm here because this nigga's dumb. So at least I'm gonna get some entertainment out of this situation.
What's
but
the
I'm
saying
never
that they
calling
say?
this nigga again.
You two may be able to get compensation.
Oh,
for,
right. Yeah.
It felt like she should sue for her mental health. Like she had to sit there that whole time.
And she was ready. She was like, "Oh, this is what we doing right now."
Yeah, bro.
She was
you
shocked.
saw her light up. Like, you a dumb nigga.
This?
Oh, okay. So
you a dumb
let me
nigga.
get comfortable and just see like what are the depths of this stupidity that I'm about to hear right now.
And it's crazy because this was actually a visual representation of, unfortunately, what it's like to go on dates and be a single woman and have to have constant conversations with men who, because they're men, perceive themselves to be more bright, more brilliant, more right leaders. This is what's leading. By the way, if you haven't seen it yet, it was very interesting as well. He also got last week. It didn't go as viral, but just would urge you guys to listen to his sit down with TD Jakes.
I don't think I saw that.
Of course, because that's not in our algorithm because we don't go to church.
Yeah,
because we in here all Sunday.
Yeah, you want that
but
devil content.
if y'all want to see him also get banged out, paused by a man, I mean, I'm just saying, TD Jakes kind of put it to him. Anyway, yeah,
not better.
Put it to
Not
him.
bad at all.
Now, there was one other thing that I found interesting, and we talked about the podcast nominee. And this is where my mind went in terms of not even high value, but how we place men in front of podcast mics or how we elevate our voices, right? That the same way y'all are mad of Tiana Taylor playing a stereotype, I put Cam Newton in the category of, hear me out, Shannon Sharp, Stephen A. Smith, Gilbert Arenas. There's probably more. But in terms of...
Is that society and culture?
And
what's the category?
Yes. Society and culture.
Society and culture.
Urban.
Jesus
in
Christ.
this landscape, I'm thinking of the voices that we pedestal. And often it is this over masculine, kind of wrong, really loud voice of a black man that unfortunately those get the money. It's why a Shannon Sharp could have this huge blowout over a sexual harassment claim and still go on to make millions. It's why Stephen A. Smith can sit on an ESPN platform and get a Disney check worth millions and millions of dollars. It's why Gilbert Arenas, where he made a horrible deal selling his IP over to DraftKings, it's why he's been able to kind of create an ecosystem of his loud and abrasive voice. And when I see what Cam is doing, Cam is not only on Funky Friday with his podcast, he is a commentator.
First take, right there with Stephen A.
On
he
TV.
basically took Shannon Sharp's spot. Yeah,
and so what is interesting is when we have these voices upset of the stereotypes that are being portrayed in acting, why we don't have the same uproar of what I perceive to be a negative stereotype of a black man constantly being pedestaled and platformed.
Well, for Shannon Sharp, I think is one thing. I think some of the difference with Shannon Sharp is I think he's able to still go forth because essentially his show is about like sports and foolishness.
Okay.
So although I can understand that point that you're making, I feel like he's not talking about anything important really. Like I feel like Shannon Sharp's show is all entertainment. With Stephen A. Smith, I think Stephen A. Smith, his journey into this political talk, like I don't think is going well. Like all he's done since he's come in there is shit on black women and piss people off.
Okay.
And I don't know, like maybe he's building a real, I know the right wingers are down with that shit, but all I see is Stephen A. slant more than normal. Like it's one thing he think he has a bad sports take or whatever, but like the levels of slander that he's taking right now are different for him.
I would apply the same word that you just used for Shannon Sharp though. Foolishness. And to me, it's all foolishness. And so to me, when we're talking about the 6, 7, 8-figure checks that are going to us, if we're upset at the black woman for winning the award for being over-sexualized, on the other hand, I don't understand how we're not as equally upset with the black man being pedestaled and given all this money to continue pushing foolishness and stereotypes. I mean, Shannon Sharp sat across from Skip Bayless with a goddamn cognac and a goddamn blanket mild in his mouth, like looking like a goddamn coon. We have Stephen A. Smith, who is literally Bojangling and being a coon. And I do think that in terms of what Cam is kind of displaying is it's not the best representation of a black man. And so if we're going to be upset with how black women are represented in the entertainment space from an acting standpoint, I just don't understand why black men aren't questioned to the same regard where they display themselves in the entertainment space as well.
Yeah, man. I still have a question, Mandy. Because I feel like I hear the criticism, but I wonder if your issue is because it's not as loud, right? Because like the people who are criticizing Tiana Taylor presumably are men, and the people who would criticize Stephen A. and Cam
should be men.
Would be men,
Yeah.
but they're just not. They're not saying it with their whole chest.
I mean,
the way they say it against Tiana Taylor.
To me, it's the hypocrisy, and my issue lies in with what this podcast is about is what I'm seeing the outrages of, and it's me seeing the clear distinctions in one episode. Like niggas is laughing at this shit, but not really calling it out like it's an issue.
Because maybe some of them are the same.
Oh, they are them.
It's
Oh,
a
for
reflection
sure.
of a lot of
But,
them.
and that's where I have an issue in terms of how black men are represented in entertainment. I hate that this foolishness is what gets platformed and what people perceive most black men to be.
Well, also part of it is, and this might be an unfortunate truth, but like even when we talk about people being platformed, like Stephen A. Smith has an audience, and that if he shows up anywhere on the internet, that audience will probably follow him. There's people who are interested in what he has to say, some people that hate watching him, some people agree clearly with some of the crazy shit he's saying. But like I don't know what you do to stop people from liking a nigga and participating.
I mean,
in
you
his
don't
fuck shit.
because Andrew Tate and Charlie Kirk both had audiences too.
Yeah, and
like,
I think to some degree, like I think there should be criticism, and I think there is criticism for some of these individuals, but I also think that at some point the uncomfortable truth of it is that in the age we live in right now, if you work for a major network or something like that, then I can see you saying, okay, don't have this person on CNN, MSNBC, whatever, TV show, whatever. But when it comes to having an audience of people who want to hear what you got to say, there's literally nothing we can do about it. Because the ignorant are going to follow the ignorant shit that they want to hear, and people who agree with this red pill shit or with whatever the bad take is, like, they want to engage with the people that they fuck with. And I don't know what any of us can do about it to get them off of that other than present better ideas and use our microphones to say shit that is more healthy for the community than maybe what they got going on.
Leaning into ignorance, leaning into the algorithm, leaning into us wanting to see black men represented better.
Amplify those who
are.
fit the bill.
Well, no, I was gonna say
celebrate us.
No, I was gonna add two more names. Then you got Jim Jones and 50 Cent. I was just go. Speaking of which, both men have pretty much came out and said that they know how to keep people talking about them.
Prison and jail ain't the same though.
Oh, wait. What do you mean by that?
You said that they have said that.
Yes.
I think one applies it in a different way, and the other one is acting like he created the algorithm.
I actually want that on a shirt. Prison and jail are not the same thing. I'm sorry. That was what the fuck, King.
At least I spell it differently.
Nah, you said jail is spelled Jale. Prison is PRTZEN.
JAYLE.
Heavy on the G.
Heavy on the G.
No, but I do want to know your thoughts then, seeing both of these New York black men carrying themselves. Wait, you
that's a question for you.
Yeah, that's a question for you. They represent, actually two boroughs you don't represent. This is Queens and Harlem here. But how would you? What are your thoughts on what we're seeing with Jim Jones? We've seen him already go against Cam, but now we see Jim and the Let's Rap About It podcast crew going against 50 and all the things that are coming
entertainment.
Okay.
I think it's entertainment. I don't think it's nothing serious. I think maybe with Jim a little bit, he 50's an interesting he's an interesting human being, man, and I love how his mind works. But I think we have enough sample size over the year, 2 decades now.
Yeah.
Stop playing with Fifth, man. Fifth got time. All the stuff, the power moves that he's making, no pun intended.
And you wouldn't think he had all this time.
And I think when he has downtime, he embraces that shit. Because he's like, oh, they playing.
He like it.
And I do believe when he says, I'm not the problem, but when they engage with me, then I gotta participate. I believe that I'm summarizing, but he got time, so I mean it's entertainment. You know, they have a studio. I don't know how he gets all this information about what's happening.
That part is
moles.
crazy.
There's moles.
Yeah,
There's
it's gotta be
clearly
a
moles.
huge moles.
For him to be so on point with it and in real time.
I mean, I'm not gonna hold you though. Like I've been to Jim's studio. Early on, I went to the first episode of the Let's Rap About It pod before I knew it was gonna be a weekly thing.
Yeah.
And there was easily 30 people in there. Like he has a barber that shows up and cuts the guys before he got, but there's bottles. It's a production, but there's an audience. And who, I don't know if, because you have the 4 guys on the pod, because you do have a production happening, who's all just inviting these people, and if any of them are really there. Like if everyone there is Jim's close person, you don't know. There was a lot of people up through there. Like shit, I can't with my homegirl that doesn't know.
You got 4 dudes who have crews, right?
Crews, yeah.
So and they have
and them crews, no crews.
Yeah, so it's like you have 4 people each one, and then those 4 have +2s, and then it becomes a whole thing.
Yeah, so like as much as like people, like there's a lot of people that go through there who often, I've been around Jim so much, he is a man of the people. And when I tell you, he will walk down the street, like he constantly has people around him, people supporting him. That is a man who New York is behind him, literally.
But part of it.
What? Go ahead. We can cut it out later if you talking shit.
No, I'm not. But you said New York or
don't
Harlem.
do that. Don't do that.
No, I just want to know.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Wait, I didn't know that there was a.
No, look.
He's just trying to separate Jim. He's trying to
don't do that.
Like, is there a Mason-Dixon line at like 140?
Mind you, hold on.
New York is very divisional.
Mind you, his studio is not even in Harlem. It's in the Bronx. It's in Sobro, baby.
Oh, shit.
It's in Sobro.
I think we got to insert
Jim is also from the Bronx. Jim was born in the Bronx.
So that's what. Okay, see, so don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I don't know. I love everybody.
And he's sitting with 2 Brooklyn niggas.
Yes, they are from
like,
Brooklyn.
He got 2.
Shout out to Fab. Shout out to Mano.
I think the history of Jim and Cam is just so intertwined, and I'm sure Jim got people with him that are still Cam's people, and that's how the videos coming up. You know what I mean?
But even look at the whole 50 Cent dynamic, right? You have Cam and 50 had their issues, and then they over the. More recently, they patched up, and now they're like, cool. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Even the Jim and Dame thing, for that to make light to the internet again this past week. For what?
Yeah. I also think it's the reality. It's like we're all taking it more serious than them.
Than they are.
Whoever took the video initially, it seems like they were probably
with Jim.
So something happened because that angle has to be from that camera, from that
from that side.
Yeah.
How did that?
Oh, easy. People fall out every day, B. And people break up every day. We talked about it.
I got you, bitch.
Oh, shit, here you go. But I'm like, are you getting? Is that a paid gig?
No, but not only that. Let's be very clear. I don't know how many years ago that was, but
he took off his glasses.
Apple moving everything to the cloud. I just got the 17. My pictures from 2017 still in that bitch.
Oh yeah.
So like with the cloud, like you can literally go through your phone from 8 years ago easily and have all of those videos and things and not even know it.
Somebody was tight, like, oh, I still got this shit right here.
Yeah.
Hold up. Upload.
Listen, not facts.
Crazy. But now, shout out to all of those brothers.
Shout out to all of
50.
them.
Shout out to the rap. What's the name of the podcast?
Don't do it.
I didn't want to say the wrong thing.
Let's Rap About It podcast.
Shout out to the Let's Rap About It podcast. We're gonna edit that.
Shout out to more celebrities getting into the podcast space. To be honest with y'all, I'm really glad. I know Jim as a creative person. I think Mano. He's had his own podcast.
Yes.
He gets on with Angela Yee. I think Mano is great on air.
Yeah.
My question and concern would be the longevity of Dave and Fab doing that. I don't think that they're as animated on the mic. I don't know how much of their own life they're willing to talk about or how honest they're willing to be on the microphone. I do like, however, how they all got in added the rapping to it.
That's their group chat though. Like remember during the
no,
pandemic,
for
they
sure.
was all like going. To
they
the
were
gym
going to
together and
fucking
working
Planet
out.
Fitness like brokies. I was so confused.
The Lobby Boys.
Why, I didn't understand.
Boys.
I didn't-
Lobby Boys.
Well, the Lobby Boys was Jim and Mano, but I didn't understand
Well, Fab used to come to the workouts. And stuff.
to the
The
Planet
workouts.
Fitness.
You see them at each other's birthday parties,
Right.
Like I think it's just an extension.
Bro,
of,
I ain't even gonna
think
hold
they'll
you.
keep doing it.
I love that they're doing. It shows camaraderie.
Bro,
shows brotherhood.
but Planet Fitness was my problem. The purple and yellow, like pizza
She's
Fridays.
like, I heard you.
I heard you. Like,
They
nigga,
used to-
I would have felt better if they went over there to the park, at the Yankee Stadium,
Oh, you
like
pull up,
jail
there was
pull up
all-
shit.
yeah.
Like,
The
I would have
bartenders-
felt like
Planet
that
Fitness
made
was
more
open
sense.
during COVID. That's why they went there.
No,
That was the only
no,
place that was
yo,
open.
that motherfucking Planet Fitness shit
Shout out to
pissed
Planet
me
Fitness.
off. Why the fuck are y'all at
Hey, man.
Planet Fitness?
Hey man, 25 pounds weighs 25 pounds there. It weighs 25 pounds in the street. It weighs 25
Oh my
pounds
God,
at,
I hated it.
Orange Theory or wherever you go.
I hated it. By the
You
way,
know,
I
do you
wanna-
remember? Do you remember that clip of Jim talking about Pusha T that went around?
Yeah.
He was like, "You're not top 50." So we recorded that. That's when I was doing the Rap Caviar podcast, and we recorded that outside of Jim's, his gym that he has in Jersey.
Okay.
wow.
And it was like he had like a little small office in there, and I was like, "You got an office, B?" But it was too small. We couldn't record out there. So then he ended up.
Oh,
pulling
that
up his
sounds
truck.
shady. All
Yeah, he
y'all
put-
was just,
No,
the
I'm not
office
meaning to
was
be
too
shady.
small to
He-
record
he-
in there.
It's perfectly fine for the business that he needs to do.
Sure.
It
Okay.
wasn't
And listen,
for
this
production.
It further highlights
Yeah.
his mind is always his wheels
He's
are always
always
turning
ahead.
because
It
he's
is.
trying to do
Moving,
something
he's a
outside
busy,
of rap.
busy dude, but he does it. We pulled up his truck to the building, the Wi-Fi, and we recorded it out of there. But he's a hustler. He keeps moving.
Yeah.
He finds a way to make shit happen, and
He does.
that's,
He does.
Yeah, that's the story.
He does. Well, we'll have to get into maybe on a bonus episode over on Patreon, the IPs that he has fumbled and us hoping that all of his business is in order, especially with this podcast. Because 50 made claims that maybe everything he's producing in that building could be tied to the owner of the building.
yeah.
So I just hope everything he's protecting, because he did lose some IPs, and we'll talk about that.
Look at Kevin Hart and his IP where he just
What? I just heard he sold his name.
He sold his name
He
and
sold
likeness
his
for
name.
$1 billion.
Name and image likeness.
He
Yeah.
sold his name. That was so.
Well, but he also sold it to also become an equity partner in the company.
Right.
That
So if
Jayson,
they create if he has like his new line of cars, he's gonna still get
Jason,
something out of it.
could you
It'd be
add
like
that to the
Ford.
docket
Right.
for next
Yep.
week?
Yeah.
I'd love to get deeper
His
in that.
brand is gonna live 100 years plus now.
Yeah, I wanted to look into what that
It's
looks
crazy.
like. All right, and before we get out of here, y'all, J. Cole is coming.
Jermaine?
Yeah.
Jermaine
The
Cole,
Cole?
is coming February
Shout out
6th, y'all. He announced the release
Yep.
of the anticipated fall off, which allegedly, which I'm hoping not, will be his last album. However, I'm really excited that it was teased that it could possibly be a 2-disc.
Yes.
He released his new track from disc 2, track 2, and he could do no wrong in my eyes. Now, what he literally can do no wrong in my eyes. What I'm hoping for, and I want to just drop my predictions and what I'd like to see, is of these 2 discs, one of them being still completely free of collaborations, because that's what we're used to seeing from Cole. We're used to not seeing any extra people. Of course, it is also being rumored that he does have some people have been named and listed as possible collabs. I hope that's on one disc, and then we still get like his OG style of
just Cole.
no features.
You're right.
Well,
I
if
want a
it-
no feature.
It
feature
depends.
side.
If it's a conceptual album, then I would assume those features tie into. It's not just about skill set. It's just about tying into whatever the narrative that he's trying to.
I mean, if
convey.
this is the fall off, and if we lean into features, I 100% believe we'll see a 21 feature, Black feature. I'm hoping, because the last one we got, I think, was Mr. Nice Watch. I would like to see Jay.
I would
At
like to see
least give
Jay.
him a verse.
If they're
Look,
cool.
wait, no.
I have questions.
Wait,
about
wait,
that.
I would
King
like
of
to
Shake.
see it, but not if he's saying on there so-called king on that.
Yeah,
Nah, I don't think that was
that.
that.
was-
I don't think
that
that
was
was
a
that.
whole-
that
that
struck
was-
me as very strange. That struck me as a little strange.
But he's been kind of leaning into there being some type of tension over the years with
Well,
Hov.
on his,
What, well, we know he don't really talk to nobody, but where have you gotten the exact, like,
the
where you believe he's come out and hinted at beef? outside of
Not
literally.
beef. I wouldn't say beef. I don't think it's beef. I just
You're
think
specifically saying not as cool.
I think he's
the
just
alliance
there's
is not there.
discourse, and I think it goes back to when he first got with Rock Nation. This is just as a fan, I'm saying this. I don't. When the story is out about how in front of Drake, he told him that he needs a record, or he suggested that Drake gives him a hit record in front of him. That's kind of
I feel like that's regular J talk though.
I was about to say,
but you don't
become that emotional, bro. Like in terms of being
this is hip hop. Niggas are
But
emotional.
in the what was his pod series called? What was his?
Oh, I watched it.
I forget what he called it, but he talked about how like that was embarrassing for him. Inevitable. He did talk about how that moment was a little embarrassing for him because it was just like, damn,
and you hold on to that shit.
Yeah. That might make you feel a certain, especially because he talks about a lot of that time he's talking about being insecure and trying to find a way to be secure as a person, as an artist, and so stuff like that might can stick with him. So I don't know.
It's weird, but where do you allow your insecurity at one moment in time, right, of trying to go uphill with your career? At what time do you let your insecurity consume you and eat you up?
No, it's
like
facts.
without getting over it. Like
yeah. Sometimes you have to get over it.
But
and what he got from J. Cole, not what he got from J. Cole, but he was on Hove's album. Hove definitely gave him, I want to say like 2 verses, maybe 3, and then he even got a Beyonce feature, and We Like to Party. Like he got a rollout, because if we think about it too, Rihanna was Rock Nation and also really wasn't put like much like Jay-Z just might not be that.
I was gonna say maybe
leader.
It could be playing into the concept of the record where he's just telling it from a perspective at that moment because he's going in reverse.
Yeah.
So when he says he's not like he's calling him a so-called king. I mean, we gotta listen to when the product comes out.
I cannot wait.
And
can we do a whole episode on the J. Cole album?
We absolutely can.
Only if.
Wait.
I got a caveat that I'm gonna present to you. After,
what?
Go ahead,
Jayson, because I didn't like the side. Nope.
It's not the side. J. Cole is my man. I like J. Cole. J. Cole fans can be a little insufferable.
Excuse me?
A whole episode
Nigga.
is a lot. Yeah.
Wait a second.
I was going to say, Jay, if we do that, right, Mandii has to agree.
J. Cole, this is America. J. Cole, celebrity say.
She has to agree to also do the same thing for Aubrey's album and for Kendrick's album that's coming out this year.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. But here's my thing, too.
We ain't going to have this light-skinned bias.
Yes, no. Let's be very clear.
Shout out to Cole.
While I'm a Cole fan, I'm also very honest. The same way I am with Denzel, right?
Yeah. For sure. Oh, wait.
For Your Eyes Only. What? Like, basically.
They came out the coat. They came out the coat.
Like, okay, the same way I hate it.
Yo, did you see when Spike Lee put out? Damn.
Wait, what?
When they said they was going to do a
showing
screening of it, of the movie somewhere in Brooklyn, and then the comments was like, why?
Okay, so here's the thing. The same way I can be critical of Denzel, who I put at a very high esteem and that I love as a fan and that I support. Mind you, I've already purchased.
Washington, not Curry.
Yeah, definitely not Denzel.
We're talking about Cole. So some people might have heard it and been like,
first off, our audience is very mature. They don't know who
I thought about that before I said it, but they're like, Curry.
They think it's Steph.
Yeah.
They know.
Y'all
Y'all seen that clip. Y'all seen that clip.
No. But like, in terms of my honesty, right? For Your Eyes Only, hated it.
Really?
As a project. Probably my least favorite project from him.
I
like Neighbors. Oh, Forest Hills Drive is number one.
Okay.
And then KOD. KOD, right? I love
People
KOD.
don't like KOD.
I don't know why they don't like KOD.
I think, again, go back into
KOD
everybody just be complaining
so
about
good.
shit, bro.
Oh my God, KOD is such a good album.
Yeah,
and then
KOD
of course,
is dope.
and then you have all his mixtapes, which I love, that are now on the DSPs.
Classic.
Like
Friday Night Lights is a classic.
Friday Night Lights, The Warm Up, Born Sinner was his first album. Then Sideline Story, like Cole. But
Cole is dope. Cole is dope. My thing is like I think Cole is very much like comes from like the classical element of hip hop. Puts out a warm up record. He's gonna roll it out. But I think fans that like it's like the commentary about this record is like, oh man, it's amazing. In reverse, who does that?
Nas.
He's back. Nas. He's back to save hip hop, and it's like, all right, man. Let's like.
Oh yeah.
He's one of the premier talents in hip hop. You can enjoy that without like
overselling it. You don't have to oversell it.
Like the context, like, yo, he can do it himself. He can do it himself just
But Jay,
fine.
I think
to A King's point, like, it's interesting. What's his re-entry point considering where he last left us?
Let me ask all of y'all, with him
I like how
even
you did that.
releasing this rewind of his life,
Yeah.
are you guys upset if there's no mention or response to him stepping out of the beef?
Nah.
Like, are you mad if there's
he
not,
did it already.
if he doesn't mention
In Port Antonio.
Yeah, to me, Port
okay,
Antonio,
to Drake.
like, I don't
But
know.
I'm saying for the project. We know that he's been working on this for 10 years.
Well-
but does he, if he went all the way back to his childhood to even
To
his
now,
death?
yeah.
No, he went fast forward to his death.
Right.
Is there a mention of the overall backlash that he
will.
received from
I
Selective?
think there's going to be.
I think he'll address it.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a direct song.
Do you
One verse
think we
about
have?
Kendrick.
Do you think
one
we
verse
have a
about
Drake or Kendrick feature? If he's been working on this for 10 years, do you
That's
think
the-
that there's a feature
So there
by
was
one or
rumor
both?
that
of them?
there was a Kendrick and Drake feature that he removed. Not
Oh.
together, but it's different songs.
on the
Different
project.
songs.
Now that was,
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from, but it was floating around that he
That
had
was
to-
that
he-
was a
he-
Maulism.
that he
that was a
Bro, don't do
Maulism.
that.
Maul started that shit, and like we'll never know if that was the
I'm
truth
standing
or not.
clear,
I'm sure
closing
he's never
doors.
gonna come out that whatever. I mean, my thing is like I do think there probably will be a mention of it somewhere. I would like to see both a Kendrick and a Drake feature
Me too.
separately
Me
on the
too.
album to see like could.
You know, to be dope. Remember we talked about the other day about if they were what would a Kendrick Drake today after everything that happened, and I was like, damn, what if they did a record where they both explaining this shit with Drake with Cole explaining, and they're just going back and forth, but in rap form, but brotherly.
I
It could
think
be
it's gonna be-
discourse.
That could be
It's,
dope.
it's,
Like,
it's gonna
that
be
could be
something
dope.
like that. It's
That
gonna
could
be.
be
I
dope.
think it's gonna be something like
I was
that.
gonna
But
say
without
maybe
their verses.
motorsports.
Like look at the track he did. Like he took a clip from the internet, right?
Yes.
And he put it on. I think it's gonna be
That's dope.
something where it's like some behind the scenes audio of him and Drake, behind the scenes audio of him and Kendrick.
Ooh,
And I
I
think it's
would
gonna be. I think it's gonna be a
love-
song. And
I would
it's gonna be
love
like
if
one
he did
verse
that.
is about Kendrick. One verse is about Drake.
One
and
verse
one
is
verse will
from
be about
him.
himself. Yeah.
Oh, I
What
would
was
like
it?
that.
I don't
To a lesser
know.
degree-
Like I don't have any insight, but
No,
I expect him to do something.
My
like
thing
that.
about it is the only reason I say I don't expect it to go that in depth because I just don't know after Port Antonio, I don't know what
That's-
other angles
Mm.
like you said everything.
Yeah.
So for me it's kind of like what are you going to tell us that we don't already understand? I don't want to be convinced of anything. Don't do a song trying to convince me of anything. If you have some other perspective that we haven't considered or heard maybe, but to me like the horse is dead. And like
Well, and people keep beating the dead
and they're gonna
horse.
beat the shit out of it. So it's like
that there's a line in that song when he's saying he's the greatest, and that's where the people.
well,
like,
yeah, I
oh,
mean,
wait a
yeah,
minute.
that's gonna,
Because-
that's gonna,
well,
like,
because-
yeah, people are gonna feel
well,
the type of way
because
about
he
that
is.
shit. But he,
How?
But if
Well,
it's his last
because
album,
he is.
if it's his last album, I think there's gonna be some context of like the idea of like they all came up together. The
Yeah,
story of like
right.
how they were all tight but not like I think that's what like the
to
attitude
try to put
it'll do.
tie a bow on the lore of the big three.
Yeah.
And he's probably the only one that could do that. If there's gonna be that moment, he's probably the only one that could do it.
I
'cause
got
I
a
don't
theory
think,
on that.
I will say
don't think it-
whether he does it or he does something like what we saw in Wale's album where Seinfeld like narrated.
narrates the thing.
I would love one of these discs to just have a flow of narration, like knowing that this is a project too that you let us all know you've been working on for 10 years. I would just love to be able to hear that because I guess I'm speaking for
The
myself
royal we.
as a Dreamville stan, as a Cole stan. Like we've seen the growth in him as an artist. We've seen him become a father, a husband, build his label, sell his label, like bring people up. Like it would just be really interesting and I'd like to see it narrated.
Well, the question, the record that he released to me left me with more questions than answers. To me, it's even a strange warm up release. Like I'm not even sure. It's not a single. Like you're not looking for this record to be a smash. It's a storytelling song, and you're telling us a story of you're doing the Nas thing. But it's like, I guess that's just to let us know that this is going to be a concept album.
I think
Oh,
he's
yeah.
reminding us of his skill set too. He's like, yo, I could.
He was rapping
could
his
do
ass off.
concept.
Yeah,
I mean,
could
but
do
he's
concept.
also mentioned, and maybe because he went to St. John's, but he's and has that Queen's influence. He's mentioned Nas throughout his entire career.
For sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm just
Inspiration.
surprised that this is the song I'm surprised this is the first music that we hear from this album in this way.
I mean, you
I
can
didn't
now.
expect
I mean,
that.
it's no longer the,
I wonder
Ray
if that's
Daniels
the
talks
beat.
about it.
Is that the beat?
He talked about
that
it.
he signed with Jay, but like Nas is still his king. Like
No.
Nas is still
No.
his barometer.
I don't think
He let
that has
Nas down. He said he ain't let Hov down. He let Nas down.
Yeah.
I think there's a part of Cole that's petty though. Me personally, I think he says certain things.
I mean, all biracials have a little petty in there.
especially the biracial rappers.
Make that a segment. Make that a segment on the whole
The
episode.
biracial rappers love to do that. in the bonus
Biracial
episode.
angst by Mandii B.
No. I identify as a black woman. I don't identify as biracial. Thank you very much. Y'all aren't gonna throw me into the mix of confusion.
Look, the fact that we get this 2026. I know there's a narrative. Oh, hip hop is good, man.
Hip hop
It
is
that
great.
The music, the business of music is changing.
It's fucked up.
I think
Yeah.
that overall is kind of in a weird. What are we doing now? But I'm excited for it.
It's gonna be a big
too.
year. It's gonna be a big year.
And like I said, if you a part of the Stand crew like I am, the vinyl is available for pre-order.
Cold World.
Make sure y'all get that.
Cold
Make sure y'all
World.
help him get like astronomical numbers on this thing.
Oh, I think it's gonna do big numbers.
Okay.
I think this album is going to be very successful for one reason or another. It doesn't even have to be about hit records. But
I think it'll be part of course.
You're calling this your last album. You're doing the Jay-Z Black Album thing.
I also think in
So
a era of streaming, again talking about how the business of music has changed, dropping that double disc at a time where, and I know a lot of times Chris Brown is criticized for dropping 30, 40,
75
songs
per
on one
album.
album,
Yeah.
but I think this helps him streaming numbers wise, putting that much content
Well,
out.
we'll see what kind of double disc it is, because there's a double disc where you can do that, where you can put 40 songs on
be
both,
8 and 8.
and then, but it could be 8 and 8, it could be 5 and 5, it could be 10 and 10.
Rocky,
right.
Yeah, Rocky's album just came out, and this too is only 3 songs.
Right.
Because it's Rocky.
Well, that's Rocky. I mean, that's,
I mean,
Shout out to A$AP Rocky.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, shout out to Rocky.
If
I
if
fuck with
Cole
some-
gives me 2 EPs, I'm gonna be pissed. 5 songs is not an album.
But here's the thing.
Or
I
But how we packaging it now it changed. So it's like you could do anything. It's kind of.
Well, I think if you look at Kendrick, if you look at Mr. Morale, it was 10 and 10, or was it 11 and 11, something like that. I
Yeah.
think that's an acceptable number if you're going to do
typical,
a double
yeah,
disc.
yeah.
That's-
Well, yeah,
that's
Mandy, what if he
acceptable.
does 5 and 5, and the 10 are for the past 10 years? And you get
Hold
one
on,
song
no,
a
because
year.
I know this shit had a lot of songs.
Yo, we gonna have when we dissect that shit. We're gonna have some Stella Artois.
Yeah,
We're gonna have
yeah,
some Mai Tai, some cut water.
Yeah, no, I think how many songs was on this album? When I think of double disc, don't judge me. I think of R.
How do you, Mandy,
by R. Kelly? Leave me alone.
No, I want to
Oh,
know how
really?
do
No,
you,
you think of 20 plus if it's gonna be a double.
Yeah, I'm thinking of that.
how do
It's-
you consume music? Like when you listen to when this album comes out, are you gonna be in the crib? But what's your thing that
no,
you
no,
like
no,
to do?
for sure. I like to put it on Alexa. Alexa, play not Alexa, but Alexa.
Mm-hmm.
I like to listen to it in the house. I also like to do it in between errands.
Got it. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and y'all know I don't drive, so I don't listen to things in the car really, for real.
Yeah,
but
I
like,
had to have that card listen.
yeah, I
need
don't
that so
do a
bad.
car listen, but I do a house listen. I do it while I'm putting my makeup on, while I'm cleaning. I like to see
Dope.
what it puts me into. And then, oh my God, if the album goes to where I could play it with my homegirls too while we getting ready, like
Right.
it gotta feel certain things. Now I'm not gonna hold y'all. J. Cole is one of those artists that I do have to just enjoy solo. My friends don't get like
oh yeah,
my
yeah,
homegirls
yeah,
don't
yeah,
get
yeah,
Cole.
Yeah, right.
I be having to put them on Cole.
You
know
don't
what
want
I mean?
them to yuck your yum.
Yeah, don't. Don't do
get
that.
it.
Don't do that.
I get it.
You know,
I get it.
they'll let me play Chef Boy before J. Cole.
Damn.
But no, that's how I like to. I'm excited. I do hope it's a lot of songs, and I'm excited to see him on tour.
Yeah,
when he
no,
tours it.
and I know that there's a lot of we've talked about all the shit going on around the album, but before all of that, I just want the album to be good.
Absolutely.
Cole is a dope ass rapper. He's very capable of making great songs and saying
Yes.
things that are like thought provoking in some kind of way. We're not talking about like, oh, he's changed my IQ but I think he's very good at the message that he wants to communicate, and I just want the album to be good.
And I'm also curious, my last thought on it is, with him finally dropping The Fall Off, Dreamville was sold to Live Nation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be curious to see if he has that presence still at the top of April in Raleigh, North Carolina. Because with that going to Live Nation, I think
Raleigh.
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 Bro, these niggas on mics piss me off, bro.
Raleigh.
Listen, I think they're trolling. There's no way. There's no way you can't tell me he's never said the word Raleigh the right.
I wish I could give him the benefit of the doubt. I really wish I could.
You know what? Real quick, Jayson, can we get out of here actually to the lovely news station in Raleigh, North Carolina that literally made this whole thing a bit, because this is how powerful our Black voice is,
Absolutely.
right?
How about that?
And so this is where we do have to be also intentional about what the fuck we're putting on these microphones. What we say, because this is how powerful our voices are. If you could find it, this is what I want to get out with y'all. And before we leave out of here, again, I want to make sure you guys know how you can support Selective Ignorance, and it's by subscribing to us on whatever platform you are listening to
All of them.
You could, whether it's Apple, whether it's Spotify, whether it's the iHeart Podcast app. As you know, we are a Black Effect podcast. We are also posting full videos of our Tuesday episodes right over on the Patreon. And if you want to enjoy everything, both audio and video, in its entirety for both the Tuesday and Friday drops, head on over to patreon.com/with Mandii B, because we're about to be dropping a whole bunch of bonus content over there that goes beyond Selective Ignorance. But before we get out of here, Ja, where can the people follow you?
You can find me on the Instagram at Mr. Hip Hop Obama. Although I've considered changing. I've considered.
Ooh, breaking news alert! Breaking news alert!
I've considered.
That's been a brand for a while, my brother.
Yeah, it's been a brand for a long time, and people love that name.
I like
every
Mr.
time I
Hip-Hop
say to
Obama.
somebody, they either laugh or they giggle or they be like, "Oh, that's crazy." But part of me has been like, do I, in stepping into like my own voice, like, do
you
want
to be in the shadow of another Black man?
No,
Obama is Obama. There's only one.
There's
Obama.
only one Obama. Yeah. So I've been playing with that. I haven't come to a conclusion yet, but I'll figure it out. But for right now, you can find me on the Instagram at Mr. Hip Hop Obama, on Threads, same thing, and you can look at my Twitter page, but I don't be on there. So.
Oh yeah, you be on Threads.
Yeah.
You done hit me in the group chat like, hey, are you? You should start posting these over on the Threads.
Yeah. Go to the Threads where the engagement is booming.
Go to the Threads. All right, and as y'all know, we got the OG podcast legend A King. We got journalism Jayson.
Yeah.
We're signing out, and y'all, before we're gonna play the clip after this, but this has been another episode of Selective Ignorance, baby, where curiosity lives, controversy thrives, and conversations matter. See you on Friday and next week. Bye.
Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your #1 source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Good morning, everyone. We're here to get your Friday started. A lot happening. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Chris Levingood. Thank you so much for watching WRAL News, Raleigh's #1 news source for all your traffic, weather.
And we're looking at a much better chance for rain. It looks like we could see scattered showers during the day Saturday, especially in Raleigh. It looks like Durham also could see.
I'm Elizabeth Holmes. It is now 10:30 on this Friday morning, and we are taking a live look from Raleigh-Durham Airport. Cloudy right now. There's also some work going on Terminal 2.
We're here at RDU this morning, where they just kicked off a major construction project. It's going to span over several years. This is going to be huge for the entire Raleigh-Durham area.
Busy morning here in the traffic center. We look live at North Hills. Of course, you're in Raleigh and we're having a good time.
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center. We're following a breaking news situation out of Raleigh. We're working to confirm new information from sources. And we're looking at all of our cameras across the area. Fayetteville, this one in Raleigh, a little bit of cloud cover over Raleigh.
Yeah, looking at our rain totals into this weekend, up to 1/4 inch in Raleigh. And so
Grant, say it right.
Sorry, Raleigh into this weekend.
Hey, just wanted to say thank you to Chade Ochocinco Jensen about what he kind of corrected us with Raleigh. We didn't realize we were saying Raleigh incorrectly by saying Raleigh. So from now on, we'll be saying Raleigh. Nah, I'm just kidding, Chad. Come on down to Raleigh. Eat some barbecue.
I'm hoping for Raleigh. I can see my baby tonight. So